Hello, everyone. It's great to have you all here tonight. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. I just got Invisalign installed, and I'm learning how to speak again. And so I'm going to sound, my list is going to be worse than what it was, but I may have Mayor Pro Tem read a little more tonight or facilitate a little more, as I have to over-enunciate, and it gets tiring. But welcome to City Hall. Madam Clerk. Oh, there we go. All right. I'll ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence, please. Thank you. This time I'll pass it over to Councilmember Freeman for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. It's our practice to stand and salute the flag together and say the Pledge of Allegiance if you'd like to join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Good evening, Mayor Williams,
I'm here.
Mayor Pro Tem Middleton,
I'm here.
Councilmember Baker,
Here.
Councilmember Caballero,
Here.
Councilmember Cook,
Here.
Councilmember Freeman,
Present.
and Councilmember Rist.
Here.
Thank you. We have one ceremonial item tonight. I'll read that now. Today we're going to celebrate. Mayor Pro Tem, could you? Actually, I'm going to ask Mayor Pro Tem to read this one. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Your Honor. A proclamation for National Public Works Week. You got Invisalign. I need my glasses. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of Durham. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in Durham, North Carolina, to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Weeks sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Now, therefore, I, Leonardo Williams, Mayor of the City of Durham, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim the week of May 18th through May 24th, 2025 as National Public Works Week in the City of Durham, and urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. Witness my hand in the corporate seal of the City of Durham, North Carolina, this, the 7th day of April, 2025. It's not April 7th. Leonardo Williams, Mayor.
Are there any other members of Public Works? Please stand to be recognized. Just wanted to say on behalf of the Public Works Department, thank you very much for all your hard work. Thank you for showing up every day, always, under any circumstance. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think what really stands out the most is under any circumstances. Grateful for you all. All right. Let's get on with the agenda here. Announcements. Councilmember Cook.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Great to see so many folks here, and hello to everyone watching at home. I've been working with a lot of folks in the community over the past few weeks regarding our budget, which is going to be discussed this evening. And I just want to say that I really appreciate everyone who's come forward with ideas. I feel like we hear this again and again, but this is a city full of folks who are really innovative, really passionate, and it has really shown up. So I really appreciate all of y'all's hard work in that regard. Just a couple of very quick announcements, because I know we have potentially a long night in front of us. I had the opportunity to go to the Bike and Roll to School Day. This was both Eastway and Y.E. Smith. So the Eagles and the Tigers got together, and it was the largest Bike and Roll to School Day event that Durham has ever had, which was awesome. And the kids were so excited, and it was 7:30 a.m., and that was very impressive to me. And then we rolled a little quickly on their rollerblades and didn't know how to use their brakes, but we rolled, and most of us walked all the way back to school, which was a really, really good time. I also want to shout out our DOST team. We went on a trail tour that was put on by our commission, and it started at El Futuro. We went to a couple different sites where the rail trail is going to be developed, going around the city, around downtown, and then some other sites, future trails going up into Roxborough, which is a really cool one, also an old rail trail. And a shout out also to El Futuro. We started there because they have received a matching grant from the county. I think this was the 4th year that they had received that to improve their space for public use. And so if y'all haven't been out there, I would highly recommend going to El Futuro. They have created an amazing water and native plant landscape that folks go out and enjoy, which is an incredible resource for the community. And just want to shout them out because they also had a fiesta yesterday, which I did not get to attend, but my partner did and said it was lots of fun. So I want to thank El Futuro for the work that they're doing in the community and that space that they're providing, and DOST for doing such a great job taking us around, showing us all of the things that are in the works, and just looking forward to those things coming to Durham. Those are my announcements. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Councilmember. I'm very jealous and bummed that I had to miss that. I was in South Texas for a work trip, but Durham Open Space and Trails does fantastic work in their daily tasks. Today, I want to honor a historical figure that is often misunderstood and in many ways intentionally so. Malcolm X, today is his birthday. He's a powerful voice for justice, for dignity, and for self-determination. He challenged America to confront many of our deepest hypocrisies, and he spoke truth to power in a lot of different ways, even when it was dangerous. He taught us that liberation comes not from silence, but from knowledge, unity, and courage to speak up and speak out. He said that you can't separate peace from freedom because no one can be at peace unless they have their freedom. So let us honor him and his memory today in action. The second thing that I want to talk about is food deserts. We actually have a policy. It's codified in the comprehensive plan, policy 88 in the comprehensive plan, that is to, and this is the language that we have, eliminate food apartheid by supporting and creating ways for residents to access healthy foods, encourage small-scale grocery stores, and make them accessible to communities. Access to basic services, it shouldn't depend on what zip code you live in, and yet for far too many in our city, it does. Too many people don't have access to the things that they need to reach on a daily basis. And in order to make a city that is more sustainable, that is more equitable, that is more friendly to ordinary people in their daily lives, to single parents, to many different generations, we need to be thinking about the way that we use our capital improvement plan, our budget, and our zoning regulations. We're going through a UDO rewrite. And think about land use and our investments in order to make sure that we are creating a city and a future that we leave to generations, to the next generation, so that they can more easily access the things that they need, so that they can access food, childcare, everything that people need on a daily basis. So I want us to think more about our food deserts and make sure that we are, in all of our decisions every single day, thinking about how to create a city that is eliminating our food deserts and making it easier for people to get things on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Caballero.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Two quick announcements. I just want to shout out the Hunt Institute. I'm part of their 5th cohort, and I was there yesterday in Greensboro through half of today. And the focus is on early child care education, which is not something that we do very much as a city, but is a huge issue across North Carolina. Providing high quality health care is certainly something that we need to think about as a city with our own workers, and then what are the needs and opportunities and gaps in Durham around that critical infrastructure, actually. So, and then the second thing, which is a lot more fun, is last week, myself along with 49 other Latinas across the state of North Carolina were invited to walk out into the crowd with Shakira as she opened up her North American tour at the Panther Stadium in Charlotte. I will say that Durham was well represented, both with women from Durham who currently live here and from some OG Durhamite women who are just, quite frankly, they're badasses. And so I was delighted to be included in this group. And I think about this moment and I think about where we are as a country. And you're not going to quiet us down. You're not going to silence us. And I will say it was an incredible night to be in a very large stadium with a whole bunch of gente singing our heart outs. So it was a very joyful night. Thank you.
I saw you. That was really cool, council member. I saw I saw when you all went out. That was cool. And and she's talking about Shakira, who performed in Charlotte recently. I happened to be just coincidentally outside the stadium, and I didn't know what all the traffic was about, and until you text me, I was like, "Oh crap, that's what's going on." So it was great to be there. Councilmember Freeman.
Thank you. I'm glad you were able to represent Durham there, and I appreciate that Shakira thought to make sure that that was a thing that happened. I know there were quite a few folks I knew, and I got to see some of their pictures. I'm hoping that you've had some too, so I'll be looking. I'll be stalking. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to thank Councilmember Baker for acknowledging El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz, just noting not only is it his birthday, it's his 100th birthday. And so 100 years ago, this child born to a family became who we know now as Malcolm X, and who became El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz. And the Shabazz Center is doing a very excellent celebration right at this very minute that I'm going to miss, and definitely try to catch the recording of up in Harlem, New York. And I definitely just want to say a very happy birthday to El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz. I also just want to give a huge shout out to all of the parents who have made it through all of the student-athlete activities. Not just to the student athletes, but to the parents. If you are a parent of the children who are in high school, even in college too, but mainly in high school, where they cannot drive and want to go to the games or want to cheer on their classmates at other activities, I just want to say, my heart goes out to you. I want to thank you and keep doing what you're doing. I have 2 athletes at home, one track and one soccer, and it has been a great year. The regionals definitely kick things up even more, so I'll just say that. I did get a chance to stop by El Futuro and enjoy some pupusas. I have to say, I like arepas, but pupusas are the best. It's a great opportunity to celebrate the mothers in our community. I have to say, with the work that I did with East Durham Children's Initiative for so many years, it's like so heart-wrenching to see so many of these children now adults and in their careers or their jobs or doing different activities as college students. And I'm just elated that I had the opportunity to work with so many families across this city, and such a great opportunity to meet such great young people. So, I also had the opportunity to speak on a panel with the NAACP for their political forum, their first of 2. They're trying to make sure that folks know what's happening in the community around politics and our general bodies, council, county commission, even with the sheriff's office and the judge's office or the chief judge's office. And so being on the panel with Sheriff Burkhead, Commissioner Valentine, and Chief Justice Clayton Jones. And folks were in attendance, and a really great chance to answer some very good questions. I wish more folks could have been there, and I hope that they'll record it next time. But it was definitely a great opportunity to have conversations about what's about to happen tonight. So I'll leave that at that. And then I also, I'll leave that for later. But thank you. That's all I have for this evening. Oh, and a special shout out to the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha who are in the audience this evening, who joined us prior to. I missed most of the meeting, but I do want to say thank you for being here and asking all of the questions you asked and continuing to be engaged with the city of Durham. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, colleagues, staff, residents, and those online. Yes, I want to start there. Thank you to the members of Alpha Kappa Alpha for joining us up in the conference room and by the mayor's office for the great conversation, for your engagement in city government. Really appreciate that, and for joining us tonight here in the chamber. So thank you, and I look forward to further engagement with you all. A couple announcements. So, first thing is, we talked about this last meeting, but it's still Bike Month, and I see many of the members of Bike Durham here. Thanks for joining us. Yay. I was kind of hanging out with Councilmember Cook a lot this week on biking stuff. So I did do the Doss Tour Trail with Councilmember Cook and Wendy Jacobs from the County Commission. A lot of good stuff that Councilmember Cook mentioned. I will say, 3 of us, Ramsey Ritchie, who's on Doss himself, and then Dave Connolly, who's kind of a Doss legend. 3 of us actually biked the tour this year, as we did last year. And I will say, and I'm glad that Bill Judge is here from Transportation. I know we talk a lot about, there's Bill, yeah. We talk about our imperfect infrastructure, which it's imperfect in Durham in terms of biking and pedestrian infrastructure. But I will say on the way back from Merrick Moore, we went a long way. The way back from Merrick Moore, the first stretch there along Cheek Road was not a super friendly place to bike. But once you got past that, to Drew Street, Dowd Street, there's a nice sort of bicycle route there, and into downtown, and then up Moorhead onto Chapel Hill Road. There's a nice bike infrastructure that allowed us to bike pretty peacefully all the way from Merrick Moore over to like Lakewood Shopping Center. So I know our bike infrastructure is not perfect, but it's getting better. And the best way to make a case for more bike infrastructure is for those that are able to use the infrastructure we have. So I encourage everybody to get out now that the weather's great and bike as you can, because we're building increasingly a better and better bike infrastructure here in Durham. Also did want to mention the Bike Walk and Roll Friday that I was also at with Councilmember Cook and the mayor with Eastway and Y. Smith. Such a great event, more kids than ever, such great excitement. I will also say about that I think some of the concerns parents voice is that they don't always feel safe letting their kids go by themselves, And so I think part of our challenge in Durham is to make sure where there is an appropriate infrastructure, which there is around Y. Smith and Eastway, we want to make sure that everyone feels safe using that infrastructure. And that's something we got to do better at. So just want to mention that one. I had a great opportunity on Saturday. The mayor asked me to go out to the 5K race organized by Girls on the Run of the Triangle. They do a 5K race once a year to raise awareness about what they do. You know, it's an organization that served like 25,000 girls over the last 25 years in the Triangle. They're both in Raleigh and in Durham. It's about teaching girls to be active and out engaged, but also teaching social emotional learning skills to girls, giving them empowerment and feeling that inner strength. And so it was a great event there. As you know, Mr. Mayor, you know, I'm one of 3 boys. My parents taught us all kinds of, we played every sport imaginable, as you know, like I'm a sports nut. I also raised 2 boys who are also sports nuts. But like that girl energy out there at the race was sort of a different thing to me. I really enjoyed that. And the one thing I share with everyone at the race, I want to share with you all and folks listening online, is that I'm a total sports nut. But, you know, the person that taught me how to throw a baseball, how to play football, was there at all my baseball games, got me into my first tennis lessons, was my mom, not my dad. And so I just want to say here that, like, girls should feel empowered to play any sport they want to. They certainly can feel empowered to compete at the highest levels of any sport they want to. And in the spirit of my mom, also know that girls can be among the best coaches and teachers of sports too. Absolutely so. Want to again shout out my mom and shout out the girls for Girls in the Run the Triangle. It was a great event and a lot of fun. Thanks for letting me read that proclamation, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Risk, you're being quite modest. I got there right after you left.
Oh, you were there? Were you there?
You told me about your time in the race. You came in your age group, number 1.
Did I? Well, I was running hard.
You too.
I wanted to impress those girls,
All
you
the
know.
girls were talking about the tall, skinny council member.
The old guy, right? Yeah.
The tall, skinny council member came in number 1. So
Well, thank you.
you as well.
Yeah.
It was like 3,000 young girls out there.
It was a big crowd. It was so much fun.
a
Yeah.
lot.
I loved it. A lot of tutus, a lot of colors, a lot of like sparkles. It was great.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
2 last things. So the Bimbay Festival Saturday was also a total blast. Thanks for everybody that came out to do that. And also, or the folks here from DPR, I think Wade's here. Thanks to Wade and his team at DPR, but also the special event staff in particular who worked their tails off to pull off another great Bimbay Festival. Such a fun event. Had a great time there. The last thing is a couple things coming up this week. So Wednesday this week, the Carolina Theater is having the annual Dancing with the Carolina Stars fundraiser, where local civic and business leaders are out there dancing, big dance competition. So if you haven't got your ticket, it's Wednesday evening at the Carolina Theater. Should be a ton of fun. And then the last thing is this weekend, ACC baseball tournament will be at the at the DBAP. The Durham Sports Commission organized that here again in Durham. It's a great event. So if you come out to that, I'll see you there. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, honorable colleagues, everyone in chamber with us this evening and whatever platform you may be watching. I want to thank my colleagues for some really excellent announcements tonight. Let me add my word of welcome to the Alpha Zeta Omega chapter of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Had a wonderful discussion with these brilliant women in our conference room upstairs, and welcome to the chamber. I told them I won't take it personally. We won't take it personally if you don't stay for the whole meeting, but we're glad that you're here. Let me also echo and thank Councilmember Baker for bringing up the birthday of El Hajj Malik El-Shabazz tonight, known as Malcolm X. I also want to, Councilmember Freeman, I think it was a couple years ago, we got some national headlines because of your leadership, and I know this has been a recognition that you have championed for quite some time and given voice to, not always comfortably, I might add. So I want to thank you for your leaning in on that and for providing leadership over the years in recognizing the birthday of Malcolm X. I want to also just send regards and best wishes out to members of our community that have suffered gun violence in the last 2 weeks. There have been some pretty high-profile incidents we know. I'll say time and time again, all of our celebrations of our city will have an asterisk next to it. As long as within 2 miles of our city center, gunfire breaks out and children are jumping in bathtubs when it's not bath time. So we continue as a government, as a city, as we need to lean in on how we measure and value our land use decisions. We also need to lean in on how we bring everything we can to bear, every tool we have to bear on protecting the lives of our children and our community members. I also want to say I know the Durham Police Department's had a pretty challenging week this past week, and we want to send regards and best wishes to the chief and to the men and women under her command. Not getting into specifics of anything, but it has been a challenging week for them, and they serve us 24/7 while we're asleep, and I want them to know that this city sends them best wishes and best regards.
Finally, thank you, Councilmember Rist, for pointing out Bembe to Durham Parks and Rec. Had a wonderful time at Bembe. I was hanging out with Councilmember Rist. Councilmember Rist got rhythm. He was out there bobbing his head to Raheem Devon. I was like, okay. I didn't know you rolled that way, man. But it was a great time seeing so many of our residents. Bembe is one of the preeminent cultural festivals in our country that celebrate our history and our culture. It has risen in its stature and its attendance. And just to see all those folk out there doing line dances in that bright sunshine in our city, it's just a special feeling. So I always look forward to Bembe each year. And I want to thank our Durham Parks and Recreation Department for once again knocking it out of the park for a great festival this year. That's it. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I yield back.
Could you check that for me? All right. And I, too, thank you all for mentioning Malcolm X's birthday. May its work and legacy continue on, not as just something we study, but something we practice. I also would like to thank my sisters from Alpha Kappa Alpha, Alpha Omega, Zeta Omega chapter, for not only just being present, but also doing the work. If you have never heard of the AKAs or the Divine Nine, it may be something you want to look into. It is amazing work that these organizations do. Mayor Pro Tem and I happen to be amongst the brotherhood that aligns with these ladies in pink and green, as we are brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I really am grateful that I took the time to learn boots on the ground one morning on YouTube, because I have been using that dance, using those skills.
You got to teach me. We're going to do that at the Carolina Stars thing on Wednesday.
Yes,
I got
you.
Teach me.
I got you. Every weekend, and I enjoyed doing it with the hundreds of elementary kids over at the Holton Career Resource Center with the bike roll and thank you. Sorry, I'm a man. I can't multitask. But we did the bike roll and walk day, and it was really cool. And I rode my bike over there, met up with them, and I went over to Y.E. Smith. I think council members Rist and Cook went to Eastway. It was a lot of fun, just talking to the kids and talking to the neighbors coming out, watching them and waving as they went by, and really grateful for the patience of the folks that were driving their cars and waiting until 200 kids walked by that morning. Bembe was quite the experience this year. We had an amazing time, and the weather, although windy, could not have been better. It was an amazing time, lots of fun. I did hurt my Achilles tendon again. Said it was windy, and there was a tent that took off on its own route, and I decided to go and grab it out of the midair, and I was in pain after that. But otherwise, it was a great time, and thanks to all of the artists. And unfortunately, I did have to leave early, but I did spend some time with Raheem Devon before he went on stage, and it was great to connect with him again. We met outside the White House in Washington, D.C. one time, and I said, I'm going to get you to Durham. And so I'm glad that came full circle. I left because we celebrated the 87th anniversary of the Beta Theta Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha. And we welcomed our general president here to town, and that was really cool. So thanks for the brothers for all the community service that they do as well. I did mention, the university graduations, I believe. If I didn't, congratulations again to all of the graduating college students around. I did, share as the keynote commencement speaker for NCCU on that Friday, and then that Saturday was the keynote commencement speaker for Shaw University, which they bestowed upon me an honorary doctorate degree. So I'm now... Yeah. It's really exciting. So, I guess now I'm Mayor Dr. Leonardo Williams. It's really cool. I also want to take a moment of personal privilege for two things. One, a dear friend of mine is joining us tonight in the audience. He's trying to be low profile, but that's not his style, and I'm not going to let it be tonight. So I'd like to recognize my dear friend, the mayor of Apex, Jock Gilbert. Welcome. And one last thing, this is also a moment of personal privilege. Yesterday, I enjoyed watching my wife cry. I know. I just saw you. She was like, what? My wife cried because we sent our son to Swaziland. Hundreds of children die each year in the rural parts of Africa, and specifically Swaziland. And I really cannot pronounce the name of where they are. Izitwili, I'm not even going to try it. But in rural parts of Swaziland, there are hundreds of kids that die every year trying to cross the river during rainy season to get home. And that is something that hit my son pretty hard. And so he wanted to be a part of being, just being a part of change. And he joined with 13 other students at Duke University, and Duke is sponsoring those students in partnership with Engineers in Action to go to Swaziland to build a bridge. And we sent him off yesterday, and it was really emotional because, we're going to miss our baby boy, but it was emotional because a 19-year-old, and these kids at 18 and 19 years old care so much about communities around the world that they're willing to go out for 9 weeks in the wilderness in a far rural area away from home to build a bridge for people that they don't even know. And so I'm grateful for Duke University, I'm grateful for Engineers in Action, and definitely I'm grateful for these 14 kids that will be building a bridge in Africa. And he landed a few hours ago. We put him on a plane yesterday at 2 p.m., and he just landed about 2 hours ago, so a long trip. But I thank you all if you're watching, which you will one day, I guess. All right, well, let's get to work here. And Mayor Pro Tem, I'm going to ask that you read the consent agenda.
Yes, sir.
We'll be making some changes.
Priority items.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to move to the priority items first.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council. The city manager's office has no priority items this evening.
Thank you, Madam Attorney.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the council. The city attorney's office also has no priority items this evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, and members of City Council. City Clerk's office has no priority items.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you to our executive staff. At this time, I will read into the record our consent agenda. Consent agenda are items that can be passed with one vote. The council has already had opportunity to do a deep dive on these issues at a prior work session. However, any one of our items on the consent agenda can be pulled from the agenda by a member of the public or by a member of the council. Do you have
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
I failed to mention one thing that's really important. Audience, colleagues, you all are familiar with me talking about the Bull City Future Fund. I'm previewing it tonight. We have raised about $500,000 now, and I will be sending out a public invite. We will be releasing the first tranche of this money at $300,000. That means that several organizations across our community will be getting a significant amount of money that they did not expect. I will not announce those names tonight, but they have gone through a rigorous meeting of the criteria to be awarded. We will be giving out 2 $50,000 awards, 3 $25,000 awards, 3 $20,000 awards, and 6 $10,000 awards. And at the next meeting, I'll release the date and the program itself, and where we'll be inviting everyone to make this announcement and award these organizations that are all youth-centric. And just really grateful for the support in making this happen. So be on the lookout for the next call.
And Mr. Mayor, is that from the city or is it?
This is the initiative that I initially initiated, but the city did the funds that I had allocated in the budget for the Black Male Roundtable was sent over to this. So this is the city put in $25,000. Bull City Future Fund. Oh, yes. With thank you. This is in partnership with the United Way of the Greater Triangle and the Triangle Community Foundation. This is the Bull City. They are managing and will be dispersing this, but this is the Bull City Future Fund that I've talked about a lot. So just wanted to preview, get everybody perked up, and start listening out for this announcement that's coming. Thank you. It'll be a big deal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Madam Clerk, I don't have any pulled items in front of me, but if there are, as I reach the item field, just let me know. All right, colleagues, consent agenda. Item number 1, approval of City Council minutes. Item number 2, Carolina Theater of Durham Board of Trustees appointment. Item number 3, proposed City County Planning Department FY26 work program. Item number 4, execute the agreement between the City of Durham and Legal Aid of North Carolina, Inc. Item number 5, Racial Equity Commission 2024 annual report. Item number 6, condemnation action to obtain 1 sanitary sewer easement at 8220 NC Highway 751 for the Stagecoach Force main sewer project. Item number 7, request for temporary construction easements at 1507 Goodwin Road and 1615 Infinity Road for the Goodwin Crossing development. Item number 8, condemnation action to obtain 1 temporary construction easement at 3100/3106 North Duke Street for the SW-50D North Duke Street Pedestrian Improvements Project. Item number 9, condemnation action to obtain 1 temporary construction easement and 1 permanent right-of-way easement on 4245 North Roxborough Street for SW-50D North Duke Street Pedestrian Improvements Project. Item number 10, condemnation action to obtain 1 temporary construction easement at 4401 North Roxborough Street for SW-50D North Duke Street Pedestrian Improvements Project. Item number 11, condemnation action to obtain 1 sanitary sewer easement at 8216 NC Highway 751 for the Stagecoach Force main sewer project. Item number 12, Durham Parks and Recreation Outdoor Aquatic Center construction manager at risk CMAR contract with Clancy and Thays Construction Company, the Daniel Company LLCP as a joint venture 2024 bond referendum project. Item number 13, design build services contract with OHG Construction LLC for Hillendale Golf Course driving range and putting area renovation. Item number 14, acquisition of 708 and 716 Buren Road, Reed, number 193188 and number 193187 for the future expansion of Lake Mickey. Item number 15, contract for creative engagement team services between the City of Durham, R. Stein Wexler LLC, and Keep Durham Beautiful, Inc. Item number 16, Durham Parks and Recreation Outdoor Aquatic Center design contract with Perkins and Will, Inc., 2024 bond referendum project. Item number 17, contract. My computer just did something funky. All right. Item number 17, contract agreement with M Cubed and Company Global LLC to provide economic development consulting services to implement a business registry and legacy program. Item number 18, resolution approving the conveyance of skate park amenities to the Scrap Exchange, Inc.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, can you please pull 18?
I'm sorry?
18 is pulled.
All right, is that by a member of the community?
Yes.
All right, item number 18 is pulled. Got you. Thank you. Item number 19, interlocal agreement with Durham County for joint public health programs. Item number 20, amendment number 3 to professional services contract SW-47D, Marine Road Bike and Pedestrian Improvements, tip number C-4928. Item number 21, second amendment to the contract with Oracle Elevator Holdco, Inc. for elevator maintenance and repair services. Item number 22, contract amendment number 3 to professional engineering services contract number 14463 with CDM Smith, Inc. for the Fayetteville Road Lift Station and Force Main Upgrade Project. Item number 23, contract amendment number 1 to professional engineering services contract number 19941 with Brown and Caldwell, Inc. for the Forest Hills Park Sewer Improvements Project. Under our general business agenda, item number 24,
fiscal year 2025-26 proposed budget and fiscal year 2026 through 31 capital improvement plan. This will be the much anticipated presentation by our city manager. Item number 27, resolution in opposition to House Bill 765, an act to reform local government development regulations, North Carolina. General business agenda public hearings. Item number 25, consolidated annexation, Danube Lane townhouses. Item number 26, consolidated zoning map change, Briar Creek multifamily. That ends the reading of our consent agenda and full
Mayor Pro
agenda.
Tem.
At this time, I'll entertain a
Mayor Pro
motion.
Tem, I'd like to abstain from item number 4, if we could pull that from the list.
Item number 4.
And I'm happy to make a motion with the exception of items 4 and 18 to adopt the consent agenda.
All right. Just so we're clear in the language, we're making a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of items number 4 for purposes of recusal on the behalf of, on the part of Councilmember Cook, and item number 18, which is pulled by a member of the community. All right. I heard a motion. Is there a second? All right. Madam Clerk, would you please open the vote? Close the vote and report out.
And the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. I'll now entertain a motion to approve item number 4.
So move.
Second.
There a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you please open the vote? Please close the vote and report out.
And the motion passes unanimously with Councilmember Cook recusing herself from this vote.
Madam Clerk, I think my thing might not be working. I voted yes on that, on the previous motion as well. It shows up as W6.
Let me check on it.
Okay.
All right, we can, Mr. Mayor, we can go ahead and dispense with item number 18.
Yeah, we can, yeah. So this is for Speaker Mike Johnston. Is there Mike Johnston in person? Yep, all right. Come on up. You have 3 minutes. Just state your name for the record. Welcome. Good to see you.
Hello, City Council and Mayor Williams. My name is Mike Johnston. I'm from here in Durham. I've been a skateboarder for 25 years, and I also own the local skate shop called Manifest Skate Shop. I signed up to speak tonight because I love the city of Durham and especially love the skate community. I wanted to express our thanks to you all on behalf of our community for your consideration in donating the wheels ramps to the scrap exchange. I also wanted to thank Wade and Emily with Parks and Rec for their part in helping to make it happen. If you go by the Durham Skate Park on any day when it's not raining, you will see who I'm talking about when I say Durham skate community. It is a diverse group of people with ages ranging from children to adults from all walks of life, and includes skateboarders, inline and quad skaters, and even the kids on scooters. If you stay there and watch a little while, you will see how this community is special. The camaraderie, mutual support, and family vibes at the park are hard to find anywhere else, and because of this, I hope that this resolution to donate the ramps represents a beginning rather than a one and done with the city supporting the skate community, because it is a community that deserves to be celebrated. We have needed more space for a long time, and while the current skate park is very well loved, in a city the size of Durham, and especially considering the size of our community, the current park is not adequately serving our needs. It is often overcrowded and is also 15 years old. The Scrap Exchange DIY Park is going to provide a much-needed additional place to skate, and will also be a place to learn and a safe space for everyone to find community. There are multiple multi-million-dollar park projects coming up in our city, and I ask you to consider the skate community when developing these parks. The Wheels Aquatics Park and Longmeadow East End projects could include skate space, and the upcoming renovation of Durham Central Park could and should include a much-needed upgrade of the current skate park. At a time in our society when people, especially our teenagers, are finding themselves further isolated, skateboarding and skate parks are a great asset to foster connection, physical and mental health, and time spent outdoors engaged in the present moment. Again, thank you for considering the donation of these ramps to the skate community. They'll be put to great use, and thank you for everything else you do for our great city. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Those were some cool shots you guys were catching off the ramps the other day. All right. So we're going to go a little out of order here. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we need to vote on that, right?
Yeah.
I'll now entertain a motion to adopt a resolution approving the conveyance of skate park amenities to the Scrap Exchange Incorporated pursuant to GS 160A28.
So moved.
Who did it right?
Second.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Madam Clerk, please open the vote. Please close the vote.
And the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Colleagues, I'll be making a few changes to the order tonight. Before getting directly into item 24, before our other public hearings, I'm going to go ahead and move number 27 up to now. So this is a resolution in opposition to House Bill 765, an act to reform local government development regulations in North Carolina. To the public, we talked about this in our work session, and that video can be reviewed to hear some of the comments that we made. But basically, this is, this bill is in the General Assembly, and it does dramatically reduce the local powers of, the hours that we're here at night deliberating on these cases. This takes it away, and it just removes the ability for us at the local level to deliberate on how we actually grow and develop our own communities. I have stated to several of our General Assembly members on both sides of the aisle, because this is a bipartisan, and I don't want to say bipartisan like it was heavily bipartisan. It was one Democrat and a few Republicans. I don't want to make it seem like it was overwhelmingly supported. It's not. But I've said to both members on both sides of the aisle that we would welcome your support when it comes to housing, but the General Assembly trying to do housing is quite clumsy. And coming in, telling us, we're already preempted in so many ways that causes fighting at the local level. This is just standing in opposition to this, and I do believe that the momentum is changing. And there are several items or bills that are being proposed. I do believe this one, the tide is turning, and I propose this to our colleagues here on the council to consider, supporting this resolution in opposition with mayors across the state and other mayors and their councils across the state in other cities and towns, large and small, conservative and progressive. So that's the basis of this. Colleagues, any comments about this? Yeah.
I just want to say, Mr. Mayor, thank you for bringing this up. When I first heard about HB 765, actually from Councilmember Riss brought it to my attention. It was deeply concerning to me as someone who's my daily work is in this area. It's something that I deal with on a daily basis, and I wrestled with the question of whether I wanted to introduce a resolution myself, and sort of wondered, whether they would care if it came from a place like Durham. But as you mentioned, there is some bipartisan support. And so it's in cases like this where I think there is value to a city like Durham speaking up for all the reasons that I think you articulated well. So I just wanted to say I appreciate it and kudos for bringing this forward. I'll be supporting it.
Thank you so much. All right. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the resolution in opposition to House Bill 765, an act to reform local government development regulations, North Carolina.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Madam Clerk, please open the vote. Please close the vote.
And the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. All right, Mayor Gilbert, Durham did their part. All right, well, Mr. Manager.
Do you want me to go before the speakers, or do you want the speakers to go first?
speakers.
Yeah, let's do the speakers first. So, hold tight. Madam Clerk, did so the ones I have are just in person. Did you email a separate list for the online speakers?
That one's under registrants. There's only 2 other speakers signed up virtually, Leslie Griffith and Molly Flo, for item 24. And those were the 2 that I emailed.
All right, so I'm going to go with in person first. Could you just put it at the top of my inbox real quick? Thank you. I'll go with in person now. All right, so I have speakers Mary Fontana, Chris Perlstein, Gregory Williams, Sarah D'Amato, Andy Lowe. I'm sorry, not Andy Lowe, but
Recording in progress.
Mary Fontana, Chris Perlstein, Gregory Williams, and Sarah D'Amato. Please come to the podium. Welcome. You each have 3 minutes. Looking forward to hearing your comments. Just state your name for the record.
Hi, my name is Mary Fontana. Thank you so much for letting me speak. I thought maybe we weren't allowed to speak, so I hadn't quite prepared something specific. However, I wanted to mention on this item specifically the importance of safe infrastructure on our roadways. So having not been able to see the proposed budget ahead of time, I do not know whether or not certain roadways, including Roxborough, Mangum, or Duke Gregson, are specifically called out as being included in the upcoming budget. However, I think it is very important that we include the reversions of those roadways to two-way conversion or an alternative but safer infrastructure than what is currently in place. Last year we had 26 deaths in Durham on our roadways. There have been 6 this year on Roxborough alone. Both Duke, Gregson, and Roxborough are all on the high injury network that was included in the Vision Zero presentation for the action plan that you all approved earlier this year. So I wanted to make sure that those items are included in the budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Howdy, y'all. Gregory Williams. I want to echo some of the same comments that Mary Rose made. We were hoping to see the proposed budget before we made our comments, so we knew if we were thanking you. And I do think that we can take this time to thank y'all for the work that you've done leading up to this point, especially the Vision Zero action plan that was unanimously adopted. And so we're just hoping that with the proposed budget that City Manager Ferguson will be presenting later this evening, that there will be the funding for the design for the conversion of Mangum and Roxborough, as well as the inclusion of fare-free transit for the next year. That's really it. Just thank y'all for your work, and we hope to see those things.
Thank you.
Good evening, Sarah D'Amato with Legal Aid. Like others, I didn't get quite the chance to review the proposed budget. I did see it, and I would like to, as I often do, encourage the council to continue to support the funding for the eviction diversion program. Studies show that one of the biggest contributors to gun violence in a community is the increasing rates of eviction. I would also like to encourage the city council to ensure that there is enough funding to provide supportive services for people who have fallen through the cracks and they have found themselves in situations where they are currently unhoused. It's a process, right? So we have many opportunities to support our community members in order to prevent prevent people from being unhoused. And I, again, would just like to ask for the council's support in funding the eviction diversion program, as well as supportive services for people who are unhoused. Thank you.
Good evening, Chris Perlstein, Reckless Roxborough, as I'm oftentimes referred to. I'm hoping that what I will be talking to you guys on Thursday about is thanking you for supporting a budget that includes making our streets safer, especially obviously Roxborough Mangum, which is the current part of our high injury network that we've been looking at. I also want to thank you all for your past support. We've talked about the Vision Zero action plan, but also there was the Vision Zero goals that we set, and that was specifically this city council, and it was voted on unanimously. But also, I kind of did some digging on how long this has been in progress, and it's something that we've been talking about doing as a city for 2.5 decades. So this has been a long time coming, addressing some of these streets. This has been in various different plans, different forms. A lot of it's focused on making the loop safer and returning that to 2A or creating some proper grid form again. But one of the ones that was most interesting was the 2020 Move Durham study, which also recommended 2Aing these streets, returning them to their original configuration. That was, again, unanimously approved. At the time, there was actually Councilmember Freeman, Councilmember Caballero, and at the time, Councilmember Middleton, now Mayor Pro Tem. And so I want to thank you all for supporting these plans and visions for how to make our transportation network safer. I hope we're going to take that next step to actually doing the work that's necessary to do that. In terms of where we're going with our Vision Zero goals, we set a goal to get to 0 deaths by 2045. This upcoming budget is going to cover capital improvements through 2031, I believe. So if you do the math on that, this is 25% of our time to reach that goal. So while I hope to see Roxborough and Mangum in there, and I think we need to see Roxborough and Mangum in there, I hope we see other streets on our high injury network in there. I hope we see 25% of our high injury network in this upcoming capital improvement plan. Because I don't know how we're going to get there if we're not consistently funding these things. I know there's oftentimes challenges with balancing different budget needs, but we've got to be thinking about if we're deferring some portions of our high injury network to a later time, that's that much more money, and that much more effort we're going to have to spend in the next cycle and the next cycle in order to reach our goals, if that's something that we really truly want to do. And I think the way we set that, or we show that we really do want to achieve that, is by funding these projects and getting these things done. Thank you.
Thank you. Molly Flo, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi, Marley, welcome. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I'm in the same boat as these other folks. I'm not sure whether I'm thanking you for making some progress on the high injury network and Vision Zero, Move Durham, all these sort of past plans and promises, or whether I'm begging you to make some progress on them. But I do just want to say we've a bunch of neighbors and like Durham, neighbors from around the city have been working on to advocate for improvements to Roxborough and Mangum and Duke and Gregson Street and other dangerous streets for years to make them safer, especially for people who are not in cars. And the Easton Connector's open now. So I think it's time to act on these long promised plans. And so I do hope the budget will include completing the design for Roxborough and Mangum, the second, or I guess the first part of the design for Duke and Gregson Street, and plans in the capital improvement plan to fund the construction for the rest of those. I'm starting to think of it as sort of the right time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the next best time is today. And I'm starting to think of these big projects the same way, that we keep, if the longer we put them off, the more accidents happen and the costlier these things become. So thank you, and I hope to see it in the budget tonight.
We're all looking forward to hearing this presentation, and good luck to you on your first budget presentation.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council. Good evening to everyone here in person and to those joining us on Durham Television Network or online. I am honored to present my first proposed budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 as your new city manager. So each fall, we begin building our budget, and on the surface, it may seem like a fairly routine process to folks. We project revenues, we calculate expenses, and we make them balance. But this year, as council knows, was far from routine. Durham County recently completed a full property revaluation, and that created a moment for us to pause and take a fresh look, not just at our numbers, but at how our city is structured to deliver the services that our community expects. This proposed budget reflects that fresh look. It's shaped by what we heard from you, our residents, our employees, and our city council through retreats, surveys, and conversations. It's also guided by our strategic plan, which reflects what Durham residents told us matters most. It's not just a document, it's our shared roadmap. It helps us align our priorities, our actions, and our investments with your values. We've approached this moment with care and discipline, making sure our decisions are fair, strategic, and focused on what Durham needs now and in the years ahead. Tonight, I'll walk you through the numbers, and more importantly, what those numbers mean for our neighborhoods, our services, and our shared future. But first, I want to thank Mayor Leonardo Williams, Mayor Pro Tem Mark Anthony Middleton, and council members Nate Baker, Javier Caballero, Chelsea Cook, Deidreana Freeman, and Carl Rist. Your leadership and guidance have helped shape this budget that reflects the needs and voices of all of Durham's residents. Earlier this year, council and staff spent time in 2 day-long retreats discussing the complex challenges ahead. We listened closely, and this proposed budget responds directly to what we heard at those retreats. Starting July 1, we're also making changes to how our government is structured, bringing together teams that already work closely so we can solve problems more efficiently and effectively. And by the end of tonight's presentation, I hope you'll see that this budget not only reflects Durham's values, but prepares us for a stronger, more resilient future. So let's begin with the numbers. It's no surprise to anyone here to hear that Durham continues to grow, and with that growth comes greater demand for city services. We've heard loud and clear from our residents you want continued investments in public safety, in equitable infrastructure, and quality of life. Our proposed fiscal year 25-26 budget is $722 million, up from a little more than $668 million last year, an increase of about $54 million, or 8%. This includes the city's general fund and other funds that I'll highlight throughout this presentation. Durham's economy remains strong, and property values are up 71.6% following the county's revaluation, generating an estimated $47 million in additional property tax revenue. At the same time, we're seeing pressure on other revenue sources. Last year, the growth in sales tax slowed, and that downward trend looks to continue. Occupancy tax revenue, which are funds generated from fees on hotel stays and short-term rentals, is also projected to decrease by 33% due to changes in state law. So while growth helps, it's not enough to fully cover rising costs driven by inflation, decreased revenue from sales and occupancy taxes and other state shared revenues, new debt service from the $200 million bond that voters approved in November, and growing service demands. So that all brings us to an important subject in tonight's presentation. Let's discuss revaluation, the concept of revenue neutral, and next year's proposed property tax rate. Every residential and commercial property was reassessed to reflect its current market value, what it would likely sell for today if it were on the market. This process, required by state law, helps ensure fairness. Also required by tax law, local governments must calculate and publish a revenue-neutral tax rate, what the tax rate would be reduced to for the city to collect the same amount of property tax revenue as we received last year. Last year's approved property tax rate was 59.62 cents. We calculate the revenue neutral rate for this year to be 38.23 cents. Tonight, I am proposing a budget that reduces the property tax rate by 15.91 cents for a new property tax rate of 43.71 cents per $100 of assessed value. This proposal is 5.48 cents above the revenue neutral tax rate. So what does that mean for a typical homeowner in Durham? For a median valued home in our city, valued at $415,000, this would result in a city property tax bill of about $1,814 next year. This rate allows us to invest in the services and the infrastructure that our community has asked for. And in November, our voters overwhelmingly approved a $200 million bond program for better streets, sidewalks, and parks. So about 2 pennies of the tax rate in this proposed budget will support the debt payments for those bond projects that our voters approved. Additional revenue from the proposed tax rate increase will support sustaining and improving core services like trash collection, public safety, and infrastructure, offering competitive pay to recruit and retain our talented staff who deliver those services every day, advancing our commitment to community safety, including expanded crisis response, maintaining service levels, even as inflation drives up the cost of everything from equipment to materials to fuel. The proposed general fund budget is $326.5 million, a 6.6% increase over last year. We're also proposing a modest increase in water and sewer rates approved by City Council earlier this month. This includes an average monthly increase of $6.33, or about 8.5% starting July 1. This is necessary to cover rising operational costs, ongoing major infrastructure, and debt service. Durham's water remains some of the most affordable in the Triangle, and these investments are designed to keep it that way for years to come. There are no proposed changes to stormwater or parking rates this year. The monthly stormwater rate will remain at $5.70 for the average residential customer. Employee pay and benefits have increased the general fund by $16.3 billion, reflecting our commitment to a strong, supported workforce. Last year's market pay study has been fully implemented, and this year's budget will continue to fund the program fully. Operating expenses supported by the general fund have also increased by $8 million. Thanks to sound financial management, the city maintains a healthy fund balance. We are proposing to use $5.3 million in a transfer for one-time needs, including $1 million to conduct this year's municipal election. I am proud to report that the city continues to hold a AAA bond rating from all 3 major agencies, Moody's, S&P, and Fitch. That means we can borrow for big projects at lower interest rates, saving taxpayer dollars. The recently approved bond program will benefit greatly from our AAA bond rating. This proposed budget is grounded in our strategic plan, shaped by inputs from our residents, employees, and elected officials. This year, 4 major priorities drove our decisions: community safety, employee support, service delivery, and infrastructure. These are the building blocks of a stronger Durham, and this budget invests in each of them. Creating and promoting strategies that ensure all residents share in Durham's prosperity remains one of our highest priorities as a city. Our community safety department, especially our nationally recognized HEART program, continues to redefine how we respond to nonviolent 911 calls for service with care and compassion. Over the past year, HART expanded citywide and now operates 7 days a week. I am proposing another expansion of HART this year, and the Community Safety Department's scope is growing to include homeless services and assistance to justice-involved residents. To grow the HART program and support their expanded mission, this proposed budget funds a total of 17 new positions, including 9 additional crisis responders, as well as crisis clinicians, street outreach workers, and administrative staff to support the growing department. We have all heard the community's strong support for 24/7 HART services, but this budget proposal responds to an important fact. There are significantly more HART-eligible calls that we currently don't respond to during daylight hours than during calls that we miss in overnight hours. Therefore, prioritizing new capacity for HART during daylight hours captures the greatest number of calls that HART currently misses. While I believe HART will be a 24/7 operation in the not-too-distant future, I am recommending in this budget a daytime expansion of HART first as the most urgent and efficient need for new resources in the department. To further support community safety and help ensure housing stability, this budget also includes $725,000 to continue the eviction diversion program, which helps low-income renters remain in their homes. Continued funding for the Durham Expunction and Restoration, or DEAR program, which helps residents clear eligible charges and restore suspended driver's licenses, expanding access to housing, employment, and opportunities. Our work plan this year also includes the creation of a new community-wide homeless prevention strategy in collaboration with Durham County and our community partners. This plan will guide our future efforts to address homelessness in Durham and serve the growing unhoused population. We're also entering the final year of Forever Home Durham, our current affordable housing investment plan. Since voters said yes in 2019, we've had some major achievements. However, we've also faced significant challenges from a global pandemic to rising housing costs, but our focus throughout has remained on housing stability. These challenges only underscore how critical this work is. Forever Home Durham has been more than a response, it's been a catalyst, adding more affordable housing in the pipeline, providing a path to home ownership, attracting new housing investment from our partners, and expanding contracting opportunities for minority and women-owned businesses. Affordable housing isn't a short-term project, it's a long-term priority. Residents can rest assured that we will continue delivering on our promises as we begin shaping the next phase of our housing strategy. This fiscal year, construction was completed for Bryan Place Apartments and Ashton Place Apartments rental housing projects, resulting in 67 new affordable rental units being created. Through a partnership with Durham County government, approximately $27 million in ARPA funding is being used to create and preserve affordable housing. This funding supports 7 affordable housing projects shown on the screen in front of you. In FY26, we look forward to completing construction of the Vanguard, Cedar Trace Apartments, and Hardy Street apartment projects, resulting in the creation of 384 new affordable rental units. We also anticipate entering into development agreements for the Tribute Rising, Fayette Place, and Durham Tech projects. Let's talk about employees. We simply couldn't deliver city services without the dedication and hard work of our employees, whether they are putting out fires, ensuring clean and safe drinking water, collecting trash and recycling, or responding to neighbors in crisis through our HART program. That's why supporting our workforce with fair pay and strong benefits remains a top priority. This proposed budget fulfills the commitment we made last year to keep employee compensation aligned with current market rates. At the same time, we're seeing rising costs in healthcare and other benefits. While we're working hard to manage those costs responsibly, employees will see some increases in out-of-pocket expenses this year. To stay competitive in today's job market, this budget includes a modest market-based pay adjustment of 1.45%, in addition to our existing pay for performance increases ranging from 4 to 6% for most employees. The city's investment in market-based pay is paying dividends. The turnover rate of city employees is starting to trend downward, and our vacancy rate is beginning to decrease since the implementation of our new pay plan. Importantly, this budget also raises Durham's minimum livable wage from $19.58 to $21.90 per hour effective July 1 for full-time employees. That is equal to an annual salary of approximately $45,560. This is almost double any increase that our minimum livable wage has experienced in the last 6 years and reflects a significant investment in living wages for city employees. Because employee pay and benefits make up much of our operating budget, we evaluate new position requests carefully each year. This year's proposal includes 42 new positions across multiple departments, shown here on the screen. These positions are funded from multiple sources that include tax revenue and a variety of user fees. This year's proposed budget makes major investments in the infrastructure that keeps our community safe, healthy, and running, both above and below ground. And while we implement organizational changes to improve city services, we're also making investments behind the scenes to support these changes. This year's budget will lay the groundwork for future improvements in the newly created Environmental and Street Services Department by funding $300,000 in planning and renovations to their administration building. This facility supports the staff and operations behind our daily solid waste and recycling collections. In stormwater, we're investing $25.7 million to improve drainage and water quality. This includes ongoing work on the South Ellerby Restoration Project, which plays a key role in protecting Falls Lake. We're also replacing aging infrastructure and tackling stormwater challenges, especially in areas that face frequent flooding or runoff issues. Our largest infrastructure investment, $315.7 million, will go towards strengthening Durham's water and sewer systems. Highlights of this work include continued work on the Jordan Lake Water Treatment Plant, our most significant capital project, designed to meet Durham's very long-term water needs. It also includes major upgrades to water and sewer lines, treatment plants, and pump stations, which are the backbone of our drinking water and wastewater systems. These projects may not always be visible, but they're vital. They reflect our commitment to keeping Durham healthy, sustainable, and prepared for the future. We're also focused on improving transit access and reliability. Continuing fare-free Go Durham bus service remains a priority in this proposed budget, ensuring riders can get where they need to go at no cost. To support our growing transit system, the budget adds 3 new positions for bus rapid transit planning, and we've included $17.2 million of funding from the Durham County Transit Plan to support upcoming service expansions. Let's move now to another top priority, strategic infrastructure investments through our Capital Improvement Plan, or CIP. This year's proposed CIP includes approximately $537.6 million to launch new projects and complete existing ones, more than 70 projects total. While there's too much to cover in a single slide, here are just a few of the highlights on your screen. We're also prioritizing street safety and mobility. Following the recent adoption of our Vision Zero plan, this budget supports safer streets for pedestrians, cyclists, and drivers alike. In this budget, parks remain a top priority. We've allocated $7 million this year. That brings us to a $12 million total to address lead and soil contamination at 5 city parks: East Durham, East End, Lyon, Northgate, and Walltown. We are anxious to reopen these parks to the communities they serve and are working closely with our partners in state government to identify safe and effective strategies to do so as quickly as possible. Because we are proposing not to reduce our half-penny parks tax rate to its revenue-neutral equivalent, we plan to invest in the quality upkeep of our parks by adding 6 new maintenance staff and funding $394,000 in additional projects. Some highlights from this year's new park projects, which are supported by CIP funding, include what's shown on your screen. As we've been discussing the recently approved bond, we've developed a new way to identify these projects as they're happening in our community with a new name and logo, Connect Durham. We want to make sure that our residents know that we are fulfilling our commitment to improving our streets, sidewalks, and parks. We look forward to our residents seeing this logo on projects throughout our community. In November, we received permission to invest $85 million to build and upgrade 3 parks. Just a few minutes ago on this agenda, the City Council approved a contract to begin planning and construction on the new $43 million aquatic center at Merrickmore Park. This new public facility will include multiple pools, zero-depth entry, a lazy river, and spaces for all ages, located right next to our new Wheels roller rink, transforming Merrickmore Park into a vibrant community hub. Another major bond project moving forward is a $42 million investment to unite Longmeadow and East End parks along Alston Avenue. This park corridor will be linked by the R. Kelly Bryant Bridge Trail with new playgrounds, courts, fields, and community-designed features. A construction contract for this significant project will come before City Council later this summer. Residents have continued to tell us in our resident satisfaction survey that streets and sidewalks are a top priority, and this budget responds to that feedback. Thanks to the $115 million Streets and Sidewalks bond, we're expanding our annual pavement management and sidewalk repair programs to the new funding levels shown on your screen. In last year's budget, we were only able to fund street repaving at $15 million and sidewalk repairs at $2 million. Thanks to bond funding, we were able to increase the proposed funding levels to these new higher rates. Over the life of the Streets and Sidewalks bond, this increased funding will allow us to build 12 miles of new sidewalks, repair 20 miles of existing sidewalks, pave 13 miles of unpaved streets, and accelerate maintenance of 770 miles of city streets. Here's the full bond allocation on your screen for all those efforts. We're also proud to continue our Equitable and Green Infrastructure Program that we call EGI, with nearly $6 million dedicated to neighborhood-focused improvements that also help our environment, especially where needs and safety concerns are greatest. Here on this slide are the projects that we've planned for EGI in the coming cycle. And finally, $18 million is included in this budget for fleet replacements, the vehicles and equipment our staff rely on every day to deliver essential services and carry out this ambitious work. Now that I've shared highlights from the proposed budget, it's time for our elected leadership and our community to take a closer look. City Council and the staff will review the details of this budget during budget work sessions on May 28th and 29th at 9 a.m. in the committee room on the second floor of City Hall. We invite everyone to either attend those meetings or tune in via our YouTube live stream of these meetings. We also welcome public input at our budget public hearing on June 2nd during the regular City Council meeting at 7 p.m. That's 2 weeks from tonight. The full proposed budget is available now for people to review at durhamnc.gov/budget. This is a pivotal moment as we take a fresh look at how we invest public dollars and organize city government. We're focused on being fair, strategic, and responsive. This proposed budget is designed to align our structures and resources with the priorities that matter most to the people of Durham. Those priorities are reflected in our strategic plan, a plan that is shaped by the voices of our residents, And this budget is a direct response to that community-driven vision and the public input we've received to ensure that our work stays grounded in what Durham values most. Every dollar in this proposal has an important purpose. It reflects our focus on community safety, where we're expanding crisis response and maintaining critical staffing for police, fire, and 911. It focuses on employee support, providing competitive pay and benefits to attract and retain a talented workforce. It funds important service delivery, investing in growing needs like solid waste and water services. And it builds infrastructure, paving streets, repairing sidewalks, building new facilities, and strengthening long-term city assets. You can learn more about this proposed budget and all our work by visiting durhamnc.gov, following us on social media, watching our videos, listening to our podcasts, and subscribing to our newsletters. We're committing to keeping the public informed and engaged throughout this process. Finally, on behalf of our entire administration, I want to thank the Mayor and City Council for your continued leadership and your thoughtful guidance. I also want to thank the staff who worked very hard to prepare this budget and all of the departments who contributed their input and expertise in helping us bring this proposal to you tonight. Council, we look forward to working with you and with the Durham community to finalize a budget that reflects our shared values, that moves Durham forward, and strengthens the city we all call home. Thank you very much.
Well. Thank you very much. Mr. Manager.
Sir. Thank you.
Well done. Sounds like a little bit of everything. Colleagues, before we move on, I'd love to provide a moment of comment. Councilmember Cook. Any comments, colleagues? Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say congratulations to Manager Ferguson's first proposed budget, it's a lot of work to get here. I look forward to our work sessions, and I know that maybe we didn't get every single thing we wanted, but it's pretty damn close. Thank you.
All right. Dito, what she just said, it will not make everybody happy. It won't make everybody sad, but considering all of the competing interests and the priorities that we do not have a choice but to address, I think we have work to do, colleagues, but thank you for getting us as close as you could. This is not easy. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and colleagues. I just want to add my congratulations to the manager on his first budget. While we have work to do, it's certainly still celebratory tonight, even though we still have to get into some details. 700 some, we've crossed the $700 million threshold for city budget, which is huge. We are continuing to grow. Durham continues to be a city of choice, great American city that many folk are seeking to live in. With that comes, as we say in my community, high-class problems. We got problems, but they're high-class problems. They're problems that are because we're hot, because folk want to be here, because folk want to live here. That's different than some of the other kind of problems that some of our fellow cities are dealing with across the nation. That's certainly not to say we're exempt from those problems, but we've got a lot of high-class issues here in Durham, and I'm excited about the opportunity to delve into this budget with my colleagues. We are a deliberative body, and so we will deliberate. But I think this is a wonderful, wonderful starting point and a wonderful on-ramp for the discussion. The numbers are strong. Our city is strong. And, Mr. Manager, I think this proposed budget tonight confirms the decision to put you in that chair. So thank you, and congratulations on your first one.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
If I may, just real quick, yeah, I want to echo my colleagues. I want to thank the city manager for your first budget. I thought this is an aggressive, thoughtful, strategic document. As Councilmember Caballero said, in any kind of budget negotiation, large negotiation like this, no one gets everything they want. I think there's a lot to like here. Again, I think you have balanced the need to like, we want to be efficient in how we do government. I think we want to ideally provide the greatest amount of services at the lowest cost for taxpayers, and I think you've sort of balanced that very well. So thank you so much. I look forward to our continued discussions, but thank you for listening to the council, to the community, to staff, and putting this together. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager Ferguson. This is definitely one of many budgets that I've sat on, and I just want to say that my main focus in a reappraisal year is always the tax rate and really trying to figure out how to navigate. And so I do want to just say, I know this is an open process and folks will pour in a lot of input. I do want to make sure that folks also pour in input on where things could be slimmed down. And just don't forget, I know there's all those asks, but point out some areas you think might be helpful to slim down in. I think that's a big help. Just knowing like we're 7 people, we make the decision for the entire city based on the feedback we get, the things we know we feel, or the things we know we were elected to support. And I'm very critical this year of what it looks like for people in our community to see their tax bills. We know what it looks like at the federal level. We know that these cuts are going to be harsh for seniors and families with young children and people with disabilities. And I just want to be really careful about how we come at making additional requests, because I know this is the season for those additional requests that folks want to throw in. And I just want to say that this is 1 year. This is 1 year. We made a lot of commitments over the last few years, and I want to make sure that our employees are at the top of that list and making sure that we continue to support them. I really appreciate the first pass. It does give us a lot to work with. I do think that some might be upset, but I'm okay. I'm okay. Thank you.
Mr. Baker.
There's still a lot of work and a lot of conversations for us to have, but I also want to add my voice to say congratulations to the city manager for proposing your first budget. A lot in here, a lot to work with, a lot of challenges. Cities across the United States facing deficits, pretty severe deficits in some places, having to cut services. So I just want to pull out one item that I am extremely excited about, which is fare free transit. We've seen Go Triangle reinstitute fares. We've seen Raleigh reinstitute fares. And for Durham and for a city of our size to show the value that we place on fare free transit is so incredibly important. It ticks the boxes of so many different priorities for us when it comes to equity, when it comes to sustainability, and also it just makes things run better. Buses run better. There are fewer conflicts on buses. They have to spend less time at each bus stop when they're moving, and it's expensive to institute fares as well. So we get to forego that cost, at least for this next fiscal year and hopefully into the future. So I want to say that I'm extremely excited about that and look forward to the ongoing conversation that we're going to be having up here.
Good. Okay. Councilmember Caballero.
Thank you. I just wanted to, Councilmember Freeman's comments, I wanted to remind folks that both the city and the county, if you are a homeowner anywhere in the county, a city resident or not, there is an income tax relief program. If you go to the county's website, you can find property tax support. It is an annual grant. We cannot do it automatically. We are not allowed to by the state. But if you have lived in your home for longer than 5 years, and you are at the 80% area median income or less, you can qualify. And if you are a senior I think at the 30% AMI level or less, I think it's almost 100% coverage of your property taxes. So this is a commitment that both the city and the county have made for a number of years. We've never actually used the full amount in that fund, which means that please apply. It's why we do it. We're one of the only programs in North Carolina, and if I'm not mistaken, one of the only ones in the Southeast. So again, you can find that information on the county's website. Thank you.
Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah.
I was also going to say thank you, Councilmember Caballero, and I would like to just kind of send a nod to former Mayor Schul in pioneering that push to make sure it was city and county together. And just also just note that there's a appeals process right now. I want to make sure that folks are aware of as well. Thank you for pointing that out. And I think you have until about mid-June if your property value, because your value is what your focus is, it's not the tax. You're focused on your value and making sure that the value is correct. And so if you've got an easement or you've got, no improvements, like those are things that matter in this tax cycle, in the reevaluation. And so making sure that homeowners, property owners are paying attention to what their value has been assessed at. You have until about, I think it's June 15th or so. Don't quote me on that, but in mid-June to submit your appeal to the county tax office. And that is all through the county tax office. Thank you.
All right, thank you all so much again. Mr. Manager, congratulations. Like I said, not everybody will be happy, not everybody will be sad. I know I did not get a lot of things I requested, and I just will continue to work toward trying to make those things happen. But I won't tear down City Hall for it, and I hope that the public will have grace as we continue to deliberate this. But at this point, Council, it is in our hands, and you've done your part. Thank you. Thank you. We will have a few other occasions to deliberate. I believe May 28th and 29th. We will have work sessions on this. And June 2nd, we'll have, the public hearing, and then we'll move to adopt shortly after. I do want to say this as we're moving into the budget deliberations amongst council and to council. If you're passionate about something, yes, show up and speak on it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everything that you specifically as an individual will request for will be guaranteed in the budget at the full request, if at all. And that goes for individuals as well as groups. It doesn't mean that you don't show up. It doesn't mean you don't engage. It doesn't mean you don't organize. But I just want us to be functioning in reality. And I'll give you a prime example. You saw the main things that we have to really invest in, and we don't even have a choice. We got to make sure we have streets to drive on and all the other things. Everybody knows I'm passionate about gun violence and young black boys killing each other. You don't see that as the main priority here. So I'm going to make sure that we find a way to do that as a collective in this community. And I hope that the energy that we galvanize together and come as groups and organizing bodies, that we'll find a way to get, really creative around how to support even other things that may not show up in a city budget, but are just as important. So just keep that in mind as we're getting ready to do what Durham does and organize and expect that, because you put a bunch of logos on a piece of paper, that you're going to get everything you want. So anyway, let's get one more comment from Councilmember Caballero.
To be brief, I just wanted to also shout out Christina and her staff. Y'all do an incredible job every year. That's all.
Yeah, I'm saying these comments so we won't give you too many gray hairs over there. All right, thank you all so much. Okay. All right. Moving on. I wonder if we should take a break. All right, let's do this. All right, let's just get to our public hearings. and we are on item number 25, consolidated annexation, the new Lane townhouses. That was the main debate today. Danube. Yeah, Danube. All right, we're ready for staff. Welcome.
Mayor Williams, Mayor Pro Tem Middleton, and honorable council members, good evening. I'm Peyton Burgess with the Planning Department, and I am happy to be here with you tonight. Before I begin, staff would like to state for the record that all Planning Department hearing items have been advertised and noticed in accordance with state and local law, and affidavits of all notices are on file in the Planning Department. A request for a utility extension agreement, voluntary annexation, and initial zoning map change has been received from Laura Holloman of McAdams for 2 parcels of land totaling 5.04 acres and located at 3824 and 3910 Danube Lane. This annexation petition is for a contiguous expansion of the primary corporate limits to allow up to 30 dwelling units to be a mix of townhouses and duplexes. The current zoning is residential suburban 20. The applicant proposes to change this designation to Plan Development Residential 7.813. The properties are currently designated mixed-use neighborhood and recreation and open space on the place type map. The proposed PDR 7.813 zoning is generally consistent with the designated use shown on the place type map. If the proposed zoning is approved, there will be no change to the place type designation of mixed-use neighborhood or recreation and open space. Thank you. Staff and the applicant are available for any questions.
Thank you. You've heard the staff report. Colleagues, any questions or comments? Yes, Madam Cook.
Thank you. Hi, good evening. Can you talk to me about what could be built if it remained the residential suburban 20?
I believe the max use of the existing zoning was 10 single-family homes.
Okay, and I've asked this question a bunch of times, and Aaron's gonna glare at me from the back row, I think. But can you talk to me again about the student calculations?
I promise no glaring. Aaron Kane with the Planning Department. What do you have a specific question about?
Yeah, I mean, I know that we've changed the way that we're doing the calculations.
Yeah.
We're going from potentially 10 single-family homes to 30 dwelling units of mixed townhouses and duplexes, and we're seeing 0 students added.
Correct.
So talk to me about it.
It is simply a fact that based on historical record over the last few years, townhouses generate significantly fewer students than do single-family homes. This is based on DPS's own data. And so DPS has done the calculations, they've run the numbers on how many students are average generated by housing type and also by region. So you may have a different generation rate in the northern end of the county than the southern than the eastern. So those numbers have all been created with new formulas within the past year, and those are the formulas we're using. And it's just simply the townhouses don't generate as many students right now. But we'll be updating those formulas every year.
Yeah, that was my question.
Yep. And if it changes, if we see more students coming from townhouses, we'll change our formulas accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing, generally speaking, is that housing is becoming less affordable for everyone. And so the idea that smaller homes aren't going to generate students seems unrealistic to me, given what I'm witnessing with people having to move into smaller and smaller places. I'm just reminded of the person who stood up here and was like, no one would live with a family in a single unit hotel. And I know that happens because people are forced to do it.
Understood.
So, yeah, it just, to me, when I see these numbers, it feels ridiculous because certainly there's going to be, I just feel like there's going to be more than 0 students that are added.
So these formulas are based on actual data and not on projections in the future.
Right.
So again, we'll be updating these annually, and if the numbers change, we will change the formula.
And are we required to go with the DPS
No, we're not. We're not required to, but our attempt here is to use actual data in these projections. Well, not projections, actual data for you in these calculations so that, they're actually fact-based, and they are based on Durham, and they are based on our historical trends.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to leave it, but I'm probably going to ask you next time again.
Sure.
Because I'm finding it ridiculous. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll probably have new formulas for that. We got these end of September, October. So we'll get some new formulas at the end of the summer, most likely. And I'll check with DPS staff on that.
Gotcha. And then can y'all define the ROS designation?
Define the ROS designation?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was found to be consistent with the ROS designation, so if you could just give me the baseline definition of what ROS requires, and then I'm going to ask you.
So our ROS is a place type designation, and we generally use that for either, actual active recreation sites like parks and so forth. We also use that designation for floodplains and other environmentally sensitive areas that we want protected. In this case, and Peyton's a little more familiar with the details of this case than I am, but there are two sections of the site. One is north of Carver Road, one is south. The area north of Carver Road is much more environmentally sensitive than that south, and that is the area that is designated ROS. And you'll notice on the development plan that that area does not have any construction on it.
And so we are assuming that this is met because of there was a commitment not to develop in that environmentally sensitive area.
Correct.
And so when we're talking about how we determine consistency with a designation, how is it done? Do we have a template? Do we have like a percentage, like this mostly meets the definition, or is?
So you notice the term generally consistent, because not every project is going to be consistent with every single policy necessarily. There are policies in the comprehensive plan for each place type, and so we review the proposal against the policies within that place type to make the determination based on our professional judgment. Generally, if there are multiple policies for a particular place type, we will look to see if it meets the majority of those policies.
Generally. Okay.
We use the term generally because, not every project is consistent with every policy necessarily. But just because it's not consistent with, say, 1 of 5 doesn't mean that it's not generally consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we need to bear in mind that state law, if we find that a project does not meet the place type, then state law requires us to give it a new place type.
Right.
Based on that, and we don't always want to do that.
Sure. Yeah. I guess it's hard for me to hear, like, yeah, we kind of feel it out, because it's hard. I don't see the deliberations that go into that, so when we get a recommendation, it's just hard to know what that means. Does it mean like we met 4 of 7, or does it mean we like met 6 of 7, or like
so the place
3 of
type
7, but the really big one,
The place type policy should be at the end of the consistency plan review document. You can see where staff determined whether it was consistent or not with the policy.
And then my last question is a transit question, but you might be able to answer it. If Bill needs to come up, he can. But my question is, in the offering, we had either a pad or a shelter, and I'm wondering in what world we would take a pad if a shelter has been offered.
Yeah, so we typically just have a sort of a standard language that we ask for in terms of the proffer that allows that determination to be made by the transit agency at the time of site plan, because it could be a number of years before the site plan actually comes in. In this particular case, right now, the transit does not go down Carver Street Extension. It turns there from Carver Street at Danube. So it doesn't currently go directly adjacent to the site.
Are there times where we are not accepting shelters and we're just allowing folks to make pads where?
Yeah, so they do have a standard for, depending on whether folks are getting on the bus or off the bus and the number of passengers getting on or off. So if it's a stop where it's primarily folks exiting the bus, there's generally not a need for a shelter, so we will do an ADA pad. But if we have a large number of individuals boarding the bus, say in this case, more likely it would be inbound traffic, depending on the direction of the routing of the bus, that's where the shelter would be more appropriate.
Thank you. That was very helpful. Those are my questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Generally, she has all of her questions there, but she may come back. So, but I do have a few others. Councilmember Caballero.
Thank you. This is a question for Aaron, and it's going to be about the schools. Sorry. The formula is just for DPS students. It doesn't take into account charter schools or private schools.
It does not take into account private schools. I would need to double check with DPS. It may take into account charter schools because those are funded through the DPS mechanism.
Okay, that would be really helpful information to have. In general, DPS's enrollment is decreasing, so I'm not surprised if the numbers are also decreasing. People have lots of options in Durham for schools, and in fact, we probably have the most charter schools in the state because we have a really large or a really high supplement for Durham for DPS teachers. So that's one thing, and then also people are just having less kids. So like that's out there. People are having fewer kids. I know that Chapel Hill City Schools actually has a deficit this year, and it's because they just don't have as many kids enrolled in their public schools because their cost of living is so high that, you know, a lot of families just can't afford to move there. They're having to choose other things, and so that is what we were seeing in the data, which is disheartening, but it doesn't surprise me. But I would love to see if that also includes charter schools. I do want to remind folks that I forget what percentage we give to charter schools through DPS, but when a student leaves at Durham Public Schools, the money follows them. And if they end up back in Durham Public Schools in that same year, DPS doesn't get that money back until the next year. The charter school gets to hold on to it. So I just want to share that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Baker, then Freeman.
To staff, I'm looking at attachment D annexation map, and I don't know if this is just something that's on the map and not something that would necessarily be implemented at the site plan stage, but it looks like there are some little remaining pieces of land, specifically on Danube and right behind this property, just kind of these slivers of land that wouldn't be annexed. Is that actually correct in what I'm seeing here? And the reason why I'm asking is just I think we'd want to avoid, as we grow and annex land, keeping little remaining slivers of parcels that are county.
Sure. So if I'm looking at it the way you are, yes, there would still be some portion, some parcel. It looks like 3 on the north side of Carver and another 3 or 4 on the south side of Carver that would not be annexed into the city. While there would still be a remaining, as we call it, a donut hole, especially on the north side of Carver Street. This project would be making that current donut hole smaller by annexing the parcel on the north side, therefore making it smaller. Also, state law does not allow, we cannot forcibly annex. The property owner would need to come to the city and request that voluntary annexation, so we cannot require the annexation of those additional parcels as part of this project unless the property owner agreed to do so.
Okay, and I'll probably have a question for the property owner about that when the time is right, but the donut holes that are specifically the public right-of-way on Danube, how do we address that? I mean, and who maintains that?
So
I mean, it's just these little like 100-foot.
Right. Again, we are annexing the portions of Danube that are adjacent to these properties, as we're allowed to do by state law. The annexation of areas south of there is the assumption is that those will be annexed in the future when those properties are later developed and annexed. We are needing to work on somewhat of an assumption that these areas, these properties will be annexed and developed in the future, and we would include that right of way in the annexation in the future. Okay. Okay, it looks like for some reason the version I'm looking at is not the version you're looking at. Okay. Looks like that version didn't get uploaded. But the version I can, the version I have that we're moving forward with would include, and the annexation maps does include those pieces of Danube.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay.
Councilmember Freeman.
Thank you. Just a question for Aaron, I think, again. I just know there's no building envelopes identified. Are there units specifically being pushed or pinpointed for the northern side of Carver?
There are no structures to be built on the northern side of Carver.
And is that detailed in there and I just missed it?
I believe, yes. It's either there as a commitment or it should be there with the building and parking envelope only shown on the south side.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, colleagues, for your questions. I sometimes struggle with some of the formulas we use as well, vis-a-vis my kind of gut feelings about things. But I do want to say I do trust DPS's reckonings and their massaging of their own data. I also would just remind folk that notwithstanding whatever formulation we come up with, developers are not compelled to give us any money for either our affordable housing fund nor our school fund. So, you know, the formulations we come up with are useful for our internal conversation, our own internal kind of metrics. But at the end of the day, I mean, what's the formulation for the affordable housing fund? It's at their will. So while I think it's important that we massage these things and kind of look at the rationale and the calculus we use for them, but I don't want to accidentally telegraph that somehow these formulas translate into some type of compulsion for the developers. They do not. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. So at this time, I'll declare this public hearing open. I have no cards, no sign-ups, right? No sign-ups. Yeah, I don't think so. Welcome.
Hi, good evening.
How many do you think you need?
Probably about 4 minutes.
4? Mm-hmm. All right, let's put 6 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the City Council. My name is Laura Holloman. I'm the project planner on this case with McAdams. Address is 2905 Meridian Parkway here in Durham. Staff has done a wonderful job with their review of this rezoning, both before you tonight, answering your questions. So I'll just fill in briefly as needed, given the hour. This is a small infill residential project, as you probably can guess, just under 5 acres, allowing up to 30 townhomes and duplexes. And we've worked hard to maximize the site as much as possible, while also being mindful of sensitive environmental areas. That's why you see the developable area limited to south of Carver Street. We do this to commit to leaving that permanently as open space while also dedicating a greenway easement for the Cub Creek Trail there. We also are committing to using only native landscaping plants, so we feel like that leads us to a strong environmental commitment for such a small rezoning project. We believe this fits in nicely with the surrounding area, as the site adjacent is also owned planned development residential. It's currently under construction, known as Cub Creek Station, which to the east, and that encompasses both sides of Carver Street, totaling approximately 134 acres. On Danube Lake Townhomes to the north of us will be a nice transition natural area for them. They'll have a nice permanent open space area to the south of them as well. Therefore, we believe the project is in harmony with the surrounding area. Additionally, as you all have already commented on, we've committed, subject to Go Triangle determination, constructing either a bump out or a shelter, either on Carver or Danube Lane, and really appreciate Mr. Judge's explanation on that. So I'm here to answer any questions as needed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. I'm assuming the gavel for the moment.
I don't have any speakers indicated. Do you? No one in queue. All right. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in chamber who wishes to speak on this item? Any member of the public who wishes to speak? If not, did you want to elaborate on anything else?
Just here to answer any questions.
Cool. All right. I'm going to declare this public hearing closed and the matter is back before the council. I'll yield to my honorable colleagues for questions. Councilmember Cook, please.
Thank you. I have questions for you. Very short, but I have a couple questions for you. At the Planning Commission, you said that y'all had had some conversations on affordable housing numbers, but you would keep talking about that. And I know that it's a small parcel. There's not that many units. But was there any more conversation about whether any of them could be set aside as affordable?
Not for such a small parcel. However, we are willing to donate $10,000 to the Affordable Housing Fund.
Okay, we got that. Thank you.
Is that an official proffer of
Yes.
$10,000 one-time donation?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And then could you just talk a little bit more about the Greenway easement and where it connects and who has access to it?
Sure. So it shows up on the Parks Greenway Master Plan, and it's known as the Cub Creek Trail. So as it connects to the east, Cub Creek Station also dedicated an easement. So it'll be a public greenway if and when the city were to construct it. But we were very willing to work with Parks and Recreation and dedicate that easement. That'll be either done at the time of final plat or building permit, whichever occurs first.
So just for my clarity, the easement will already be in the city's possession. We just might not do anything with. We have to construct the connector trail. This might be a staff question. Can you just explain to me the timeline of that?
Well, as Laura said, the commitment is to the easement so that the city has access to the property to construct the trail at a future date, but the applicant is not offering to construct the trail on their property at this time.
So the city will already take that easement possession.
The city will have access through the easement whenever it is filed.
Okay, thank you. And then what is the conversation that happens afterwards about whether or not we do construction on that?
That's a question above my pay grade.
Thank you. Those are all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Baker, please. Thank you.
Thank you. So dedication of trail, can I ask why no construction?
It's, that's something that really, Parks and Rec hadn't, we had very preliminary conversations with that. They had a kind of a rough idea, but didn't really have a firm alignment in place at this time. So, really, our commitment as consistent with many other rezoning cases, was at this time we felt like, an easement, at which time, when we felt like the city was ready to move forward, with the trail, we could at least, have it set aside to do. But for something, of this size, going through such sensitive areas would be a tremendous burden for a case of this size.
So that's not something you'd want to commit to.
To constructing a greenway? No,
And actually, we have been seeing recent cases that have been that are making that commitment. So, something to consider. There's one sliver of land kind of running behind the property. Did you consider including that in this project?
We did not. The property that you see included in the annexation is all the property that the property owner owns.
Okay. And then okay, that's it for me right now.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Caballero.
Thank you. This is probably a question for staff. I don't have any questions for the applicant. Thank you. The large development that has a decent amount of affordability in it, they just provided the easement. They're not constructing the trail, correct?
I'm not sure which project you're referring to.
The one adjacent? Isn't there a giant adjacent? Yeah, Cub Creek Station, I guess.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Good evening, Sarah Young. That had a different name when it was through planning, and so I don't remember what it was called, but we could try and look it up. And
okay, I don't remember that, and that was a much larger.
Yeah, I don't. It's not ringing a bell, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
I'm almost positive that's a project that came. I don't know what the stack was for affordability. I can't remember if we put Forever Home dollars there and a mix of ARPA dollars, and right, like it was a blended, but there was a fairly large affordability component, and it's one of the 3 out in that area. And I remember the easement, but I don't remember the construction of a trail. So I would say for a development that has over 400 units, I can't imagine that one that has 30 units would have the money to build a trail. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Colleagues, on my right. Anyone have any questions, comments?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just want to say I want to thank the applicant. This is the kind of infill project we love to see in Durham. I appreciate the thoughtfulness here. I appreciate the easement for the future trail. Appreciate the contribution to the Affordable Housing Fund. And I appreciate all the other infrastructure pieces, the bus bump out or the pad. So I'll be supporting this. I think it's a great project. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Yeah, very briefly, I've seen projects this size and smaller not do as much as this one that we've approved. It's an infill development. Again, I think that's important. I think the Planning Commission got this one right. Mr. Mayor, you have any comments or questions, sir? If not, colleagues, I'll poll the House one more time. Councilman, yeah, please, go ahead.
Just remember my third question to the applicant. I know that this is just the rezoning stage. There's much more at the site plan stage, but I'm just curious if you could give us a flavor. This doesn't factor into any consideration of the rezoning case or not, of sort of the design of the townhouse and duplexes. If you're walking down the street, would I be seeing garages along the front? And then also, are you anticipating the design to include backyards for these units? And the reason why I asked that question is just because we have seen a lot of townhouse communities where the single-family attached unit is not providing an alternative to a single-family detached because it's not necessarily providing backyards, which a lot of people are seeking. So I just wanted to ask that as a question.
Sure, and great question. It's, this is the property owner. The property owner is not a developer, so we have no builder. This is just something that the property owner is wanting to move forward on his own and try to set up for entitlement. So I can't speak to any design criteria, but I can certainly tell you we're not willing to make those commitments that it won't be front load. So that could happen. But I think your point is well made about the backyards. I do wonder, with just knowing how small this site to the south is barely 3 acres. So I wonder if there would be room to have backyards when you factor in your street network, your lots, as well as your stormwater detention that has to go on this side too. But I think your point is well made about a backyard.
Councilmember, did you have anything else? All right, thank you. Colleagues? All right, with that, I'm going to, the public hearing is closed. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adopt an ordinance annexing Daniel Blaine townhouses into the city of Durham
and to authorize the city manager to enter into a utility extension agreement with Brightside Ventures LLC.
So moved.
Second.
I hear a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you please open the vote? Please close the vote and report out.
And the motion passes 6-1 with Councilmember Baker voting no.
Motion number 2 to adopt an ordinance. I'll entertain a motion to adopt an ordinance amending the Unified Development Ordinance by taking property out of residential suburban 20 Falls Jordan District B watershed overlay county jurisdiction and establishing the same as planned development residential 7.813 Falls Jordan District B watershed overlay city jurisdiction.
So moved.
Second.
I hear a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you please open the vote? Please close the vote and report out.
And the motion passes unanimously.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt a consistency statement as required by NCGS Section 160D-605.
Move to adopt consistency.
I hear a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you please open the vote? Please close the vote and report out.
And the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Item 25 is discharged. Friends, we are past the 9 o'clock threshold. We will be in recess until 9:21? Yeah, 9:21. We're in recess. Thank you.
I came to the city to develop leadership and supervisory skills. I stayed because of the city's culture and dedication to serving residents. The City of Durham, where careers meet community. To connect with a career that serves the Bull City, visit durhamnc.gov/careers.
I came to the city for the great insurance and retirement benefits, but I stayed for stability and vacation time. The City of Durham, where careers meet community. To connect with a career that serves the Bull City, visit durhamnc.gov/careers.
Here's some tips to ensure that your garbage and recycling gets picked up. 1. Your cart should be put out for collection before 6 a.m. on your collection day. 2. Your cart should be at least 3 feet from all other objects such as mailboxes, telephone poles, fire hydrants, trees, and other carts. 3. Your cart should be no more than 3 feet from the curb. 4. No vehicles should be blocking your carts. The mechanical arms on our trucks need direct access to your carts and cannot reach around vehicles. To find more information about garbage and recycling pickups, go to this web address.
Oh, you got
1 minute warning.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We're on the last item on the agenda, item number 26. Item number 26. And we're ready for the staff report.
Thank you, Mayor Williams, Mayor Pro Tem Middleton, and honorable council members. A request for a utility extension agreement and a zoning map change has been received from Worth Mills of Longleaf Partners for 10 parcels of land totaling 16.56 acres and located south of Andrews Chapel Road and east of Cozard Road, crossing the Durham and Wake County line. The current zoning is residential rural and residential suburban 10. The applicant proposes to change this designation to Planned Development Residential 25.000. The applicant is proposing to rezone the properties to allow up to 408 dwelling units, a maximum of 383 multifamily units, and 25 townhouses. The properties are currently designated mixed residential neighborhood on the place type map. The proposed PDR 25.000 zoning is generally consistent with the designated place type. Additionally, staff has received an updated development plan clarifying that 100% of street tree, vehicle use area, and vegetative buffer plantings will be native trees, but this version was not available in time for agenda materials. Thank you. Staff and the applicant have hence, are available to answer any questions.
Thank you. You've heard the staff report. Now it's to colleagues for questions and comments. Councilmember Cook.
Thank you. You actually answered my first question, which was that our zoning report still has the 35%. So we'll look for that to get changed. My next question is that this spans 2 counties.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just talk to me about the implications of that and what it looks like for?
There can be quite a number of implications. I think the biggest ones most likely are that this will be entirely in the city of Durham. It will receive City of Durham utilities. It will receive City of Durham will receive property tax revenues. Durham County and Wake County will split the county revenues, split the revenues based on the county that they're in. And my understanding is that the students will go to the school district based on the county that their residence is in. So those on the Wake County side of the line will go to Wake County schools, and those on the Durham County side of the line will go to Durham County schools. The city attorney can tell me if I'm wrong on that, but that's my understanding of how that works. The school district lines and the county lines will not change.
And so we make the decision, obviously this is following we're comparing it to a comprehensive plan. We've got a UDO. These are things that are Durham, both county and city specific, but not Wake specific. Mm-hmm. So what happens with those portions that are?
So there is a previous agreement from 2019 that does, and we can get that to you if you haven't seen it yet. There is a previous agreement from 2019 in which Durham and Raleigh agreed. There's a line that doesn't follow the county line. that Durham and Raleigh have agreed as to who will annex on which side. And this area, this actually is already part of the city. It's already been annexed, but it's on the Durham side of that annexation agreement line.
But it maintains partly in Wake County. And so
yes,
the assumption, because it's been annexed into the city, is that for the purposes of this application, all Durham rules apply.
all Durham zoning rules will apply because it's in the city of Durham. That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, all the Durham UDO will apply because it's in the city of Durham, even though it's in Wake County.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my questions.
All right, any other questions or comments? Was that a hand? Oh, all right. So at this time, I'll declare the public hearing open. We have the applicant here. Welcome. How much time do you think you need?
Let's do 6 minutes.
All right.
And I'll be as quick as I can.
All right, let's put 9 minutes on. One moment.
There is a public speaker signed up for this, Andy Lowe.
What's that name? What's the name?
Andy Lowe.
Okay, well, we'll
Would you
hear
like
the
to do that
presentation.
first?
Yeah. All right, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of City Council. My name is Worth Mills with Longleaf Law Partners. Joining me this evening are Mac Patel, the property owner, Bob Zumwalt, landscape architect with Kimley Horn, and Earl Llewellyn, a traffic engineer with Kimley Horn. We're here on behalf of Monts Ridge LLC, which is the ownership entity and the rezoning applicant for tonight's case. The request concerns 6 parcels along Andrews Chapel Road, totaling about 16.5 acres. You can see that Wake County, Durham County line there. We're proposing to rezone the entire assemblage to create a townhome and apartment community up to a total of 408 units. We're consistent with the place type map, development tier, urban growth boundary guidance, and Planning Commission recommended approval 6-3 with no neighbors or members of the public who spoke in opposition at that meeting. As I mentioned, the properties on the southern side of Andrews Chapel. To the west of us are the Corners Apartments at Briar Creek. To the southwest are the corner townhomes, or the towns at Briar Creek Crossing are to our southeast. There's the Harris Teeter Shopping Center at TW Alexander Glenwood with various out parcels and some new multifamily at the intersection of TW and Alexander and ACC Boulevard, which has been built within the last 5 years. This area has seen significant townhome and multifamily building growth within the last 5 years due to its proximity to Briar Creek Shopping Center. And so we feel like the proposed rezoning and the uses that we're requesting are compatible with the types of new homes that are being built in this area today. As mentioned, the current zoning on the property is split. For that area within Wake County, it's currently zoned RS10. For the area within Durham County, yes, is rural residential. All of the adjacent properties and areas near us also have Durham zoning designations and operate the same way, regardless of whether they're in Durham County or Wake County for purposes of zoning and enforcement. This is a copy of the development plan. The hatched area shows the developable area. We're planning for 2 points of access along Andrews Chapel Road. There is a Neuse River stream buffer in the southeast corner of the property, which will remain wooded, and it creates a natural setback to the townhomes closest to our southeastern point. We are also dedicating portions of ACC Boulevard consistent with the City of Durham Transportation Plan. Another thing I wanted to note here, after our second neighborhood meeting and in response to comments from neighbors, we included a 30-foot wide, 0.6 opacity landscape buffer to run along that entire eastern boundary line just to further screen from those adjacent townhome neighbors. One last thing I'll note on this slide, the existing sidewalk on Andrews Chapel ends at that single-family lot to our west, 1029 Andrews Chapel Road. Some other notable zoning conditions, the entirety of our zoning conditions are in your packet, but the maximum development that we are requesting would permit up to 383 multifamily apartments and 25 townhomes. Building heights for the multifamily buildings generally, 5 stories and 75 feet. This is another condition in response to that neighborhood meeting. Any multifamily building within 250 feet of the adjacent towns at Briar Creek would be limited to 4 stories and 60 feet. Townhomes capped at 3 stories and 35 feet. We're prohibiting vinyl siding as a building material, and we have a list of permitted building materials, which is bricks, stucco, synthetic stone, wood, metal, and cement fiberboard siding. We're constructing a 10-foot wide multi-use path along our frontage, and we are also constructing off-site sidewalk to connect our property to where the existing sidewalk stub ends to that property to our west. We're dedicating 5% of all of our units as affordable at the 80% AMI limit for 30 years. We heard from Planning Commission that our original zoning condition for affordability was 3% for 20 years was insufficient. So we, in response to those comments, we increased that to 5%. There is some discrepancy in the staff report, whether it's a 20 or 30-year period. I do want to offer officially as a proffer, if necessary, that the term limit will be 30 years on that affordability, on those affordable units. As mentioned, we are committed to 100% of our landscaping to use North Carolina native species, and we are making a $10,000 contribution to the Durham Public School System. Again, our request is consistent with the mixed residential neighborhood place type map designation, which recommends both apartments and townhomes. So our unit mix is consistent with the types of housing that is recommended here. So just to summarize, we're looking to rezone this 16.5 acres to PDR 25 to permit up to 408 homes, 383 apartment units, 25 townhomes. We're consistent with the place type map designation. We're consistent with a majority of the applicable comprehensive plan policies. And for those reasons, we think that this case is reasonable and in the public interest. Happy to answer any questions that you have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Was that speaker that was a virtual speaker? No. Okay. If you will, state your name for the record.
Andy Lowe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, City Council and those here in attendance and online. My name is Andy Lowe, and I'm with the local chapter of the Center for New Liberalism. I'm here today to speak directly in support of the Briar Creek multifamily townhome development, but also really generally in support of Durham's continued growth and increasing housing supply. Durham aspires to be a prosperous city where the average person can afford to live, work, and enjoy life with confidence the city will continue to grow and thrive. These efforts have allowed new graduates such as myself to move to Durham, to live here, to work here, and to build a life here. Today I'm here to encourage the City Council to continue this growth by, well, we already have approved the Danube Lane development, but also to approve this development. As the Durham Chapel Hill Carborough Metro Plan organization anticipates Durham adding 140,000 people by 2050. Simply put, if we seek to maintain and even improve the quality of our services, affordability, and opportunity, we must continue to increase housing supply. So saying yes to this growth and prosperity is a choice that Durham has made in the past, and me and many others are beneficiaries of that, including tonight with the Danube rezoning. I hope this choice continues with both Briar Creek and further rezoning cases. I know this is not the most contentious public hearing you all have had in both the recent past and will in the future, but I hope to continue to be here and advocate for that continued growth and for Durham as a whole. So thank you for your service to the city.
Repeat the name you said earlier. You said new something?
Oh, sorry. The the local chapter of the Center for New Liberalism.
Local chapter of the Center for New.
Yes, so we have a Raleigh-Durham-based chapter of the group. Center for New Liberalism. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, do we have any other speakers? All right, thank you. So at this time, I'll consider the public hearing closed and back before the council. Any questions, comments? Councilmember Cook.
Thank you. I have a couple questions for the developer. Oh, sorry. Just turned my computer off somehow. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I first of all, thank you for clarifying. I did have the question about the 20 versus the 30 years. So thank you for clarifying that to 30 years. There was some conversation at the Planning Commission because this is in a transit opportunity area. Policy 40 does talk about a 20% of affordability as opposed to what you've offered today. Is there any interest in increasing that offer from 5%?
I don't think that we're in a position to increase the percentage. If council wishes, the applicant would be willing to make a financial contribution to the Affordable Housing Fund. But in terms of additional percentage, I think we would like to keep our percentage at 5.
And did you have a number in mind for a donation to the Affordable Housing Fund?
I think the applicant would be comfortable with a $50,000 donation to the fund. That's the will of the council.
I just want to be really clear that, yeah, that I am asking and not demanding those things. But yes, just so that $50,000 is.
We can
about that. Okay.
We can formally, proffer that.
Okay. Thank you.
We can accept that proffer, and we need to get an adjusted development plan anyway, so it's easy for them to include that proffer in the next round.
Thank you. I'm going to keep asking you questions about dollar amounts. I saw that y'all have a proffer for $10,000 to DPS for. We've been seeing about $500 per student. If we look at the amount of students that are added by your proposal, that would be a $16,500 DPS. Are you interested in increasing your DPS donation to match that amount?
We could, and I would like to just again clarify for what's in Durham County today and what's in Wake County today.
Yes.
I think about 13 of the 16.5 acres is in Wake County. So I think a decent majority of students, just based on developable area, would ultimately go to Wake County schools.
So
obviously, there will be some development on the Durham County side, but.
And Mr. Kane, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that on our zoning map change report, the numbers that we have is just Durham, and it does not include Wake. Is that correct?
That is correct. We have no formula for calculation of Wake County students.
Okay, so that is based on just Durham students.
Okay, but to your question, yes. If 16 is in line with the latest calculations from DPS, 16.5, sorry.
And so that's a formal proffer that you're willing to make?
That's correct, yes.
And then can you just talk again about the sidewalk connectivity? I know that there was some conversation about there's a roundabout there. It seems to me that the sidewalk is going to go now all the way to the roundabout, which makes the public transit walking accessible. Is that right?
Well, I can just speak to what we have offered. So on this development plan, the blue dotted line represents the sidewalk that will be constructed as part of our UDO requirements. The off-site sidewalk.
Can you pull that up on the screen? Can you pull that up? Yeah, can you pull that slide up just so we?
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's okay. I'm sure we have it, but so we're all doing the same thing. Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Okay. I was going to ask, did council see any of that presentation?
Yes, we did.
Okay, cool. So the blue dotted line represents the pedestrian work that is required by Durham's UDO, just within our frontage, within our scope. The area that we would like to extend is this area to the west. You can see my clicker there. So the sidewalk ends about where the icon is. And so this is assuming that there is sufficient right-of-way width existing. It looks like there is. Obviously, we can't do anything on those individuals' property without their consent. But the purpose is to construct that 175 feet of sidewalk so that our site then connects to the end of the existing sidewalk infrastructure. And yes, that does continue down Tonti and out to ACC Boulevard.
Okay, and I know that y'all have been talking about that for several months. Have you talked to those property owners to get a sense of whether that is going to be possible?
We have not. We haven't had any conversations with the property owner regarding those, any of that off-site work. A lot of the assumption is based on the existing right-of-way width of Andrews Chapel. So the existing right-of-way is greater than what you see if you're driving down the street. And the question then is just, again, we think we have the requisite right-of-way to make that off-site connection. If we don't, the condition states that we have to at least request easements from that property owner, assuming that either there's sufficient right-of-way now or he consents to the easements that would be necessary, then we can make that complete connection to the roundabout.
So, sorry, so what would be the right-of-way? How? Maybe I'm not understanding. You think that there might already be right-of-way, but you don't know. Help me understand how we build. I understand an easement. Help me understand the right-of-way.
So from edge of pavement today, and there's no curb or gutter in front of that home. So outside of the edge of pavement, there exists today areas within Durham's public right-of-way that Durham has complete control over. And we think that there is sufficient room to install 6-foot sidewalk? 5-foot sidewalk between our western boundary line and the sidewalk stub that exists in front of this home at 1029 Andrews Chapel. Since we have not gotten to site plan and have not graded that out, it's just a question of whether there's going to be any necessary easement granted by that property owner to us in order to fully build out that connection. Again, on paper, there is existing right-of-way, but once we get into the site planning work and the more detailed review processes within the city, then we'll have a firm understanding of if that can be made, again, within the existing right-of-way or if there needs to be some easement that we have to go obtain from that property owner.
Okay, thank you. And then my last question is, at this Planning Commission, you weren't sure if the affordability was going to be ubiquitous across the development or if it was going to be specific to either the apartments or the townhouses. Do you have a better sense of that?
We don't, and I think the issue there is we just don't know what the ultimate unit mix is going to be. The condition sets development maximums, but there's no threshold that says if you build X number of multifamily, then you have to build X number of townhomes. So our condition remains 5% of all units spread across the entirety of that unit mix.
And still assuming that none of them will be for sale?
That's the assumption, but
might change.
It could, but we don't have any ability to further regulate that at the zoning stage.
Okay, I'm just curious if y'all had talked about it. Okay, those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others? Mr. Baker.
Have you all thought about green building at all in this development? And first of all, actually, are you all going to be the developers, the builders of this?
I think that remains to be seen, whether there's a partnership or whether there, is ultimately a conveyance to a builder or someone who ultimately makes the improvements.
And then green building, is that something that you have considered?
I don't think that we
the apartments.
I don't think we've discussed it internally, and in my dealings with staff and with Planning Commission, I don't think that issue has come up to date.
I'm good for now.
Councilmember Freeman.
Just to follow up on the open space protections, I know there were some questions that were raised, and did we get those in place?
Right. We do have areas shown as open space on the development plan. Now, in terms of open space, are you referring more towards like an active open space or just the open space generally?
Just generally.
I think we know for sure, we're going to have passive open space in the areas that are within the Neuse River buffer, as well as, areas in the southeast corner that will remain open space as well. Once you get into the buildable area, just because we don't have a site layout and don't know exactly how everything will fit together, it's hard for us to specify kind of where that would be or how that would be split up within that area.
I would just like to express the appreciation for the 0.6 opacity buffer. Is there any consideration around it being 0.8?
I don't know if we can commit to that tonight.
And just also expressing my appreciation for the 100% native plantings as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rust.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mills, for the presentation. And thanks for my colleagues for their questions. I have one, if you'll bear with me, I want to go back to the sidewalk question. If you could put that slide back up.
Sure.
Yeah. And I appreciate your efforts to try to make that connection to the western side of your parcel. I drove the site today, so I drove all around there to sort of check out the area. And there is, there's a growing sort of nice infrastructure in that area with sidewalks, and most of that vicinity. Your parcel, obviously, you've got on your frontage there, you've got the 10-foot wide multi-use path. So I appreciate your efforts to go to the west there to the circle. I'm also wondering if that were to fail, for example, or even if it doesn't fail, on the east side, where your property ends, does that connect right to because I know there's sidewalk further beyond that, whatever that lane is there to east of you.
The area to the east of us is open space for that adjacent townhome subdivision. Off the top of my head, I can't remember if there is sidewalk along their kind of western boundary frontage along Andrews Chapel.
All right, because what's the street right there that I couldn't read the name of that on the map. Oh, is it Tufton or? Tufton. So, starting at Tufton, I think there is a sidewalk that goes down to the, to Del Webb Arbors Drive, yeah.
So I'm trying to find a more zoomed in photo, but I don't know if I have one. So is the question?
Yeah, no, I guess, no, I was just kind of wondering if you knew that, because I realize as you get closer to Tufton, there is sidewalk there, but and there may be a small gap. I realize that's off-site. And maybe,
Okay, just looking on Google Maps, it looks like there is sidewalk built up to
your property line.
Boundary line.
That'd be great.
We would tie in to the eastern side just by virtue of the UDO.
Good, that's great. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I like that, the connectivity kind of filling in there. So appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But Councilmember Cook.
This might be a staff question. Hey. I just want to revisit, and Councilmember Freeman kind of just brought this up, but this is not compliant with the comprehensive plan because in protecting environmentally sensitive land, because there's no commitment to the location of the open space. Is that correct?
So we have I wouldn't say, we have a policy that talks about dispersing open space throughout a site in order to, make sure that various areas of the site can access open space. That's not all just in one area. Now, they are meeting some of our open space policies regarding protection of environmentally sensitive lands, but there's not a commitment about other open space and where it's going to be located yet. We often don't see that at the site plan stage. Sometimes we do get a commitment on that, so we cannot state that they are consistent with that particular policy at this time, but it doesn't mean they wouldn't necessarily be at the site plan stage.
Is that, Mr. Mills, something that y'all have talked about?
It's not, and I think at this stage, aside from the open space that we're showing on the development plan, which I just realized you can't see anymore, we have a clear understanding of where those open space areas are going to be in the southeast corner of our site, the most environmentally sensitive areas of our site, given the Neuse River buffer and a small bit of wetlands at the head of that stream. But again, once you get inside of the buildable area, that hatched area I showed, we just don't have enough information with regard to internal circulation, building placement, to offer a condition that we would feel comfortable that we could meet at this stage. Obviously, we do want to, and any development wants to have an open space that their residents enjoy and want to use, but I think we would prefer to leave that to the site plan stage once some of these bigger questions get answered.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, colleagues. Thank you for your presentation. First, just to help me with institutional integrity matter. I'd just like a firm commitment to 30 years. I think your phraseology was 30 years if the council required it. We can't require it. So would you mind just definitively stating that commitment?
Absolutely. We are an official proffer to have our affordability period last for 30 years.
Thank you for that so much. I also want to commend you on your sensitivity and responsiveness to our planning commission. I noticed some machinations going on even before you got to us, and some tweaks to your plan, causally linked to feedback from our planning commission. So I want to thank you for that. This is my neighborhood. This is my area. Actually, this is one of the places in our city that kind of mimic the Detroit, USA, Windsor, Canada relationship. The Durham County, Wake, head towards RTP, going up Davis Drive. There's that, Durham, Morrisville kind of thing. Farrington Road going towards Chapel Hill. You've got some addresses in Durham, but they're in Orange County. This is one of those areas. I think the Planning Commission got this one right. This is what this area is right now. This is totally consistent with what's already out there. This trajectory's pretty much been set. That huge Harris Teeter out there, Walmart, Briar Creek, so there's no concern about accessibility to shopping. Oftentimes we kind of lament the absence of services and restaurants and places to eat, things to do. This ain't this situation in this area. There are huge shopping commercial nodes out there. It's totally consistent with what this area is. This is the type of development you would want in an area like that with these commercial developments out there. That's where I do my grocery shopping most times in that area. So I'm very comfortable with moving forward. I also am pleased with, I've seen some cases where folk have gotten before us, and I want to thank my colleagues for leaning in on school support and affordability issues, but there have been many cases where you've gotten here to do that type of stuff, and I'm noticing the responsiveness to the Planning Commission even prior to appearing before. So I hope that sends a message out and translates to the development community writ large who want to do business in Durham. This is what's going on in that area. I think it's a good addition to that area. I think the Planning Commission got this one right. I'll be supporting it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Baker.
Thank you. I just want to say I appreciate you being your team being responsive, echoing Mayor Pro Tem here, being responsive to some of the questions that you've received and some of the comments that you've received from my colleagues from Planning Commission. I think that's really important. It shows goodwill. I think I'll say something that maybe some of my colleagues will disagree with. I find that that the context of this area and the planning and the development that's happening out there, and this site most likely included, it's hard to say at this stage, is fundamentally broken and flawed. And the way that we build our city is fundamentally broken and flawed. We're not building cohesive, connected cities that can be truly accessible through transit, that can truly be walkable, where someone can walk out their front door and take their child to drop them off at childcare and hop on a bus and get to where they need to go. That's just not the city that we're building. Our rules don't require it, and we're not getting those kinds of. I mean, we can't even hold it upon each individual developer to proffer something that they don't know is their neighbor landowner is going to do, and so there's much change that is needed through this Unified Development Ordinance, where it eventually becomes normal to expect green building on all of these sites, where it becomes normal to expect public dedication of public plazas and squares and parks and playgrounds. It's not just, hopefully they'll do it and it'll be private space for those specific residents, but truly egalitarian places where we can expect that future developments will include non-residential uses on the site throughout that are integrated and intertwined with our neighborhoods. We know the evidence-based best practices from cities in the United States and around the world. We see it in our own city and a lot of the parts of our city and neighborhoods that people love. And the truth is that it makes traveling expensive. It takes away it takes away travel options for people, forces people to travel by car, forces people to sit as they travel, takes away active transportation options from people, takes away these public spaces, these public egalitarian kinds of gathering spaces. And it's so deeply ingrained into how we've been building cities. It's just something that we've become numb to, that we've become used to, and we make the best with living in the city that we're creating. So I think that there is a lot that we need to change. I expect that we'll be seeing some of that in the Unified Development Ordinance rewrite, and we can't expect at this stage to be expecting those kinds of things from each individual landowner and developer. So at this point, I'm not quite sure how I'll be voting. However, I do very much appreciate the willingness of the development team to work with staff, with the Planning Commission, with my colleagues up here. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Caballero.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank the applicant. There was a list of things from our Planning Commission. Could you do this? Could you do that? And I'm pretty sure you responded to every single one of them. I think that this area, it's a interesting, not great area. I agree with Councilmember Baker. I also think we're responding to things. Part of your development is in Wake County, and Briar Creek has been identified in their comprehensive plan as one of their focus areas for 20 years, I think. And so we are reacting in a way. We didn't plot this. We didn't set this down. That wasn't a Durham decision. We are reacting to a very large commercial area. And so I will say, no, it's not ideal, but somebody can walk to that Harris Teeter, and they can walk to the First Watch. And if we get the kind of density we're seeing, slowly but surely, one of the transit projects that we're looking at is running BRT down 70. So yeah, you are going to get it. Is it going to be this amazing, beautiful thing? Not yet, not now. And I know this is something that you and I battle about every round, and we're going to just continue to battle about it. I want to say that part of it is also just about power. I'm real clear on where and who has power in the state. We just passed a resolution pretty much very clearly stating it's not us. As much as we may want to have that, as much as we may want to have impact fees and demand things, we do not have that power. And that is structural. That is within the structure of municipalities and towns and cities. And at a certain point, if we can't, wrestle with that as council members, we're just going to sit on our hands and not do anything. And I'm not here to do that. I'm here to move us as best as I can, even if it's flawed, because otherwise we're just not delivering and we're just becoming a body that says no to everything. And I understand that not everything here, we cannot demand sustainability practices, we have to ask for them. Even with the new UDO, we cannot demand that. We can, again, cajole, which we're doing slowly, which our applicants are meeting us where they can. It's why we consistently see money for DPS. It's why we consistently see units or money for affordable housing units. But again, it's because of persuasion and not because there's any power to ask for it or demand it. And so I know where I sit in that, and I understand that may be frustrating, but I've been in the seat since 2018, and I'm clear on where I am. So I will be supporting this tonight. Again, thank you for moving on those important metrics that our Planning Commission asked for and that we often want to see. I understand you couldn't meet us on all of them, but I appreciate the direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Thank you, colleagues. And I want to say, to my colleague, Councilmember Baker, you said nothing controversial. And I fully associate myself with the vision that you've eloquently cast. We struggle to make a more perfect union. We're struggling each day to make a more perfect city as well. So nothing, I don't think your statement's controversial at all. It's like, what weirdo hates ice cream? We all love ice cream, and we all love the vision that you've cast for our city. I guess tonight I'm not voting on a strategic fix for the American city. I'm voting on the merits of this case before me and trying to stay within the scope of this case. Holding in tension what you've said and the vision that you've cast. And I look forward, listen, I struggle every day with the realities of living in a Dillon rule state as opposed to a home rule state. And I pledge now to partner with you and any other colleague on this dais that when we do our UDO rewrite, to fully exploit whatever we can that the law will allow to capture that vision that you've cast. If we can compel green building, whatever we can compel, I'm with you. And I will follow the lead of any voice on this council that will get us closer to that vision. But tonight, I'm voting on the scope of this case before me. And I think the Planning Commission got it right. I urge us to support the case. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, we wrestle with these cases all the time. I have not seen a perfect case yet before us. The way I see this, you certainly are meeting the density we seek in a mixed residential neighborhood. This is a bikeable and walkable community. As I said, I drove today with the sidewalk you're building on your frontage there. It's connected. You're 0.6 miles from a transit stop. That's Route 2, right, on 70. So this is absolutely walkable to transit. You've done 5% affordable housing, and I appreciate the additional proffers. I think you've done your job. I'm comfortable moving forward, so thank you.
Thank you. I'll be supporting it as well. We didn't decide to put a bunch of chemicals in the ground and, thought that was okay to build parks on it, but we have to react to that. We have to build those things now. I welcome any of my colleagues to join me in a resolution and trying to get a Dillon rule state here. or an exception like Atlanta, I would love it. Give us more autonomy, But I also realize that running the city is not a Sims game. And I wish we could plot everything like we want it and then move forward. But the reality is there was a lot of things in place before we got here, and there'll be a lot more to come when we leave. There could be protest votes. There could be, symbolic votes. However, we all have our prerogative. But I in the unfortunate, reality, that we have before us, I'm saying to the public as well as Ms. Allison, who just emailed me about her frustration about the fact that we just need to do more beyond what we can actually require. This is our reality right now. Our reality is we have the limitations that we're going to negotiate with you, and we can't force you to do anything, but you'll hear us nudge and you'll hear us, would you consider? We utilize that wording intentionally because we just cannot. If it's the council's will to accept $50,000, no, if it's your offer, then of course we will. I can't say you better give us 50 and you'll get our vote. But, if you offer it, we'll take it. For whatever it's worth, I know there's a give and take and there's a little jockeying that goes on. I also keep in mind of the end user. I know that there's something else I can't control. When you leave this room, whether, and it passes, the more we get out of you now, and people can say, oh, they won't do this, but it does happen. The more we get out of you now, I can't control whether you send that to the people that are going to be buying or renting from the property. And, Durham is already expensive enough. And we do have a lot of folks that already have their good things. And it's hard to get that consideration shared across communities that, folks that are trying to get into the housing market, like myself, it is simply unattainable. So I'm not going to pretend that this is easy. And all of us, we vote the way we vote. I will be supporting it because I think it's closer to right or closer to good than bad. It's not great. Nothing's great because we just would never get what we want. But I appreciate it, what we do have here, and I'm going to go with that. And sometimes people call this a rubber stamp. I welcome them to sit in this seat and get the things that they ask for, such as affordable housing, everything costing too much, making it cheaper, and all the other things I hear. But this is closer to good than bad, and I'll be supporting it. And with that, colleagues, I'm going to go ahead and call the question.
Before you do, Mr. Mayor, I just had a question.
You had a question? Go ahead.
I just wanted to find out if the applicant was interested in working with some of the local affordable housing providers. I know you mentioned you were unable to figure out who your builder will be, and maybe there's an opportunity there for some of the affordable housing providers to work with you on that project, whether they're doing whether they're working on the 5% or the entire project. I think there are some really insightful, forward-thinking, very progressive organizations here locally, and if you're amenable to that, I would love to follow up with the conversation.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and then I just want to just make sure I say very clearly to my colleagues, I really do appreciate your consistency. I do, and I often agree with the stance that you take. It's just that there's a little bit of fight in me that wants a little bit better and a little bit more in every case. And so I just hope that you'll, not discount or belittle that fight, just knowing that we've gotten this far over the last 8 years. I think since I was on the Planning Commission in 2014, the cases didn't look like this. And so we've gotten incrementally better. I know the incrementals have been painful, but I think it's a part of the work. And I think that we all bring a very vital piece to the conversation with our development communities. I know they weren't bringing these cases forward without builders before. I think it's intentional at this point, and we know this. And so we're navigating from where we are based on the decisions we make from this dais. And I just don't want us to lose sight of that, because this is our city. This is where we live. This is the land that we're shepherding as stewards. And I want to make sure we're not just thinking about this generation, but 7 generations forward at all times. And so I do have some concerns about the open space protections, and I do have some concerns about where those open spaces will be, but I do feel comfortable just acknowledging that this location has been, you're creating a better product than what's already there, and you have been very receptive and open to working with the Planning Commission. I think Commissioner Woke, I'm messing up her name, said it best for me, which is why I could easily see it could be a possibility. There's no reason to really fight the development moving forward, but at the same time, I want developers to know we want better, at all costs. We whatever the partnership needs to look like, however the work needs to happen, we can do better. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Colleagues, are there any other comments? Aaron, would you like to?
I just wanted to confirm for the record the 2 additional comments that we have tonight, which is $50,000 to the donation to the dedicated Durham Housing Fund and increasing the donation to Durham Public Schools from $10,000 to $16,500.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And the commitment
30
to
years.
affordability? The affordability commitment?
And the affordability commitment of 30 years, yes.
All right, are we all good? Thank you so much. I'll now entertain a motion. Yes, ma'am.
I know it's getting late, but I did want to just speak to the Center for New Liberalism group that's coming forward. I do want you to be very intentional about really doing the research around what land looks like in these areas before you just say yes. There are a lot of layers. I don't want us to be a rubber stamp, and I don't think anyone here is a rubber stamp, but it came across as a rubber stamp for you this evening, and so I just want to just send that feedback. That's all.
Thank you. I appreciate this group. I wanted you to clearly state what group it was because I remember when you guys launched, and I know that you have lots of developers, urban planners, city planners, professionals in that group. So it's a lot of research that goes into it. So thank you all for showing up. Let me go ahead and call the question. I'll entertain a motion to adopt an ordinance amending the Unified Development Ordinance by taking property out of residential rural and residential suburban 10, establishing the same as planned development residential 25.000.
Move is read.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Madam Clerk, please open the vote. Please close the vote.
And the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. I'll also entertain a motion to authorize the city manager to enter into a utility extension agreement with Monts Ridge LLC.
Moved is read.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Madam Clerk, please open the vote.
And the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And lastly, I'll entertain a motion to adopt a consistency statement as required by General Statute Section 160D-605.
Move to adopt consistency.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Madam Clerk, please open the vote. Please close the vote.
And the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Colleagues, that is our agenda. We are adjourned at 10:12. Thank you.